You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
A very warm welcome to Paramveer Sports Complex here in Rydell, Georgia, just an hour away from downtown Atlanta, and we're in for another cracking contest. The Baltimore Royals, they will be taken to the field having lost the toss and been put in by Atlanta Fire, who will be batting. And we are in for a cracking contest. We saw a one-sided game, the first one-sided affair of this weekend. We've seen close finishes up until today, but we'll have to see how this game unfolds. Atlanta Fire has got 1 out of 1 so far. Royals have lost their first game. I'm Faisal Shah, and alongside me is Aman Patel, taking up his seat now. Good afternoon, Aman. How do you see this one going?
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting contest. The Atlanta Fire and the Baltimore Royals will be the Fire's last game of this weekend, so they want to finish it on a bang. Excuse me, they have one more on Monday, and the Baltimore Royals, well, they are looking for their first win coming up in this competition. And again, I'm just interested to see how these two teams look to really dive into a surface that seems to be better than the ones we've played on. I want to see the Fire in their batting lineup in a full game. We saw them in a shortened overs game. And then for the Baltimore Royals, I'm curious to just see them complete, to see how they use their bowling combinations. Yesterday was a lot of spin, 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 and they have some great spinners, but want to see what their pacers look like and how Muhammad Alam goes and how Aryan Butler gets used. So I think there's a lot to play for.
A lot to play for indeed. Two openers are out in the middle. Obviously, the formidable figure of Stephen Taylor is missing. He's out through injury. And obviously, it's well documented that Aaron Jones has moved on from Atlanta Fire. Initially to the Raptors, but then he's been picked up at the CPL. Darbar is opening. He's a new acquisition this year for Atlanta Fire. On paper, Aman, I think they look a bit thin on batting. So that's why the first four, their job is really, really crucial, and for one of them to really make a telling contribution.
Yeah, that's why they've brought in Jagur Pradina into the batting lineup, and he'll open the batting today. They're trying a new combination. Pradina has been part of the Seattle Thunderbolts and has a strike rate of 97, but when I think about this team, I think about Rishi Pandey. I think he's someone who could be, this could have been a year, I think, where Rishi Pandey could be the man that they really look at, because he's been in this 11, he's been in the lineup up top the order and batted really well. I think about that 2022 season when he batted with Rakeem Cornwall pretty consistently. I think he provides a lot, and I just think that with a thin batting lineup, a guy like Rishi Pandey up top the order is not a bad shout, especially because you're trying to replace your opener and your number 3 bat. Even Obis Pinar was part of this team last year and has moved on, so I think this top 3 is going to have to hold things together and see what they can do from there. Muhammad Alam, first delivery.
Caught on it straight away. Has it carried? It has been picked up brilliantly. What a sensational start. This is... Wow. That was dipping on him. And Obis Pinar, being a very, very tall lad, had to go a long way down and in front. And he has done it superbly.
First ball, first wicket. Not a warm welcome for Jagur Pradina, who just hit it into the wind, is really the key. And Obis Pinar, you have to say, really, really well done. It felt almost too casual the way he was running in for it, but he's a sure-handed fielder. And the Fire, we talked about, they have to hold on to wickets early. Well, they've lost the first one after winning the toss and choosing to bat first. They're 0 for 1 after the very first delivery.
Henchard Hamilton is in the middle. Atlanta Fire, like we said at the beginning, a bit thin on their batting. They really wanted their top four to contribute big, and that wicket of Raina is not going to help them. Darbar and Hamilton both very capable, but they definitely need a partnership here to take them deep into the innings. Alam goes past the outside edge. Static and stuck on the crease was Hamilton, just fishing at it.
Yeah, different start for Henchard Hamilton compared to yesterday in that reduced 8 overs match against the Moscow Raptors. He came in and struck 4 boundaries in the first over, finished 14 off 5. And I'm interested to see how he likes to play it. Is he going to be, playing that similar style of looking to be aggressive and being that big hitter up front? Or is he going to look to take time before he gets himself set? I think the time is the better option, just because, like you mentioned, this is a batting lineup that saw Zia Shahzad come in very, very early against the Raptors.
And just filling in on the conditions, sun has been beating down, and I don't know if it makes sense, but earlier on we were hoping for the sun to be down and dry up the wicket, and having had a look at it in the mid-game break, it felt like, is it going to be too dry come the 4th innings of the day? And when Royals will be batting, there's a little bunch of tufty grass. Even on this picture, you can see that along the middle of the pitch. It's a big shout, appealing, but umpire just walked away from it. I think the bat brushed the ground, and Chad Hamilton also reacted in a way that, what's all this fuss about? I haven't hit it.
Well, even if he hasn't hit it, Muhammad Alam has been really, really good so far in his minor league. Just one game deep into it, but on a surface where it was all spin all day long, Alam was the one guy that they turned to with the pace on, and they gave him 4 overs. Just gave up 17 runs, didn't get a wicket, probably deserved one. Remember, he had Mark Parchment hit the stumps, but the bails didn't come off. So he looks very, very good and could be very dangerous today.
Yeah, he's got good attributes about him as well, Alam. His run-up is very good. His action very easy and repeatable, it may seem. And he's got strong build, strong shoulders. Not very tall, but he's got a lot of his basics right. Good to see, and it also would suggest, like Aman just mentioned, he's got a very, very good head on his shoulders, understanding the conditions and adapting accordingly. Today's much compact surface, so he's sticking to that traditional top of off line so far. 2 slips in place. Knocked him over, top of off. We were talking about, and top of off, he's hit it, uprooted the stump. This is a sensational start from Alam.
Well, we talked about how he deserved his first wicket yesterday. He gets it today, and it's the length, and another opening pair for the Atlanta Fire. Done and dusted. Take a second look at this. It's just beating him for pace, I reckon. I don't think it stayed incredibly low. It just was never in any position to play that shot. There's no one in no position to play any shot. And Rajdeep Darbar goes, and the first over comes to a close, and the Baltimore Royals would love what they've done after being sent into bowl first. It's 1 for 2.
What a sensational start for the Royals, and Alam grabbing 2 wickets, sending both the openers back. Aksh Dave is the new man in. He will be at the non-striker end. Henchard Hamilton, who's played 4 deliveries out of the first 6. Both the other batters just lasting 1 delivery. and couple of ducks at the top of the order for Atlanta Fire. The batting wolves have been exposed very early, and Hamilton would have to dig really deep and find his best form for Atlanta Fire's sake. Aryan Batra will take up the attack from the com box end.
Yeah, very good young cricketer, Aryan Batra, and again he'll come in and bowl a lot of those cutters like we see from Atindra Subramanian, his teammate in that under-19 World Cup the USA was a part of. And if you've noticed something about the ground so far, no Jaskar Malhotra for the Baltimore Royals today. Standing captain is Ravinder Singh Mehra, as Malhotra took a scary collision yesterday with Sarbjit Singh Ladda, took the brunt end of it. He's not in the 11 today.
Oh, that is a big shot. That really jacked back in. Batra cannot believe it. Henchard Hamilton once again was caught on the crease. Obviously, the position we run in, we cannot make a judgment, but looking at the reaction of the players, what do you make of it, Aman?
It'd be very close. It did hit him on the knee roll, so maybe height was a thing. I think the umpire is going to signal. He did signal that it was sliding down the leg, but very, very close that was.
Hamilton has knocked it into the gap. 3 fielders converging on it. You could see the anticipation and the exuberance of the Royals. It can happen to teams when they have taken 2 wickets so quickly. A couple of runs to Hamilton.
Yeah, it could have very nearly been a third as well, but I like what I'm seeing from Butler. Again, getting an opportunity with the new ball in minor league and using his angle to the left-hander. He's such a smart cricketer. And again, you're never going to get worse bowling to top quality individuals, and Henchard Hamilton is definitely that. And you can just see the confidence in Butler's strides.
Looks like Hamilton hasn't got any rhythm about it, batting himself. Once again, hopping on the crease. Not much of footwork as he got cramped for space.
Yeah, and it's very different from the way he got started against the Raptors, and maybe it's the spin on the ball that he enjoyed, but again, so flourishing. It just what made batting look so easy. Right now, struggling with every shot.
Once again, I think he got a scratch on that. I heard a couple of noises. We're a long way away, but this time the appeal wasn't as vociferous as the first one.
Yeah, I think just a tiny bit of bat. That's what saved Henchard Hamilton here. Yeah, just a slight deflection, but if it had hit come off the bat, he was gone for all money. Batra, he's had an incredible over so far, just 2 runs given off of it, and the Atlanta Fire are in some kind of pressure. This is a full 20-over match, but this wicket doesn't seem to be this worrisome.
This is Hamilton's favorite area, and he's found the middle of the bat for once. He desperately needed that. Slightly short. He picked up the length very, very quickly and timed it sweetly.
He can't do this if you're Aryan Batra. He's just slid down the leg stump, and we saw Henchard Hamilton attack this area all day against the Morsel Raptors, and for what was promising to be such a great over, this would ease some of the pressure off Henchard Hamilton's shoulders and to take that pressure away from this what was shaping up to be an incredible first over from Batra.
This one he gets an edge. It is running downhill. It will go pretty quickly in that direction and will have enough legs. Good finish to the over for Atlanta Fire. They desperately needed that. 10 coming off the last 2, 12 of the over, 13 for 2 Atlanta Fire.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Those 2 boundaries at the back end of the second over really helped Atlanta Fire. It will give Hamilton some confidence as well, although the second one was edgy, but the first one was a real solid connection, as Deve has got himself off the mark as well. Yeah, that pull shot for 6 from Hamilton really was a good example of the Caribbean flair that you get to see. Just front leg up in the air and swivel on the back leg as he found the middle of the bat. He will be back on strike again against very, very impressive Alam.
Yeah, how good has he looked? And again, I think he's been right on the money. He's got an extra bounce. I think it just comes off the pace in which he bowls. So he's quick. He's a bit skiddy as well. And then he has that one that will just bounce up and jump at you. So very difficult to deal with as a batter.
Hamilton calls quickly, although he was off the back foot and running to the danger end, but makes it safely.
And for the Fire, this is the key in this rebuilding stage, is not let the dots pile up. Find a way to get a single throughout. You fetch the odd boundary there off of Aryan Batra, but whilst you still have, the bowling won't get any worse, it feels like, right? Because you have to deal with Mohsin, you have to deal with Sarbjeet Ludda, you have to deal with Obis Pinar and Daron Davis. So you still have 4 really quality frontline spinners in the Baltimore Royals arsenal. So know that, okay, where's my gaps? How can I find my singles? Because the task for boundaries doesn't get any easier.
He went for that full Yorker, missed his length. Dave couldn't put away the full toss. He had to beat only one fielder on the onside. He hit it straight to mid-wicket.
Yeah, missed out big time. Just that fielder at mid-wicket, but everywhere else could have easily found himself a couple of runs. Just tucked it 3 or 4 feet to the right or the left of that fielder. But again, you have to just say Muhammad Alam, he's been really, really impressive.
Once again, excellent delivery, good areas there. But the Atlanta Fire pair are alert to the situation. Just running quick single, that's a good strategy. If you can't find the boundaries, at least keep the scoreboard rotating.
Yeah, and very key for a batting lineup that, again, maybe not as deep as in years past. I think we'll rely heavily on Cornet Dry, Zia Shahzad, and I think Milo Alfonso is going to have to be a lot bigger figure with the bat. So you want to save them for later on in the match. So what can you do? Hold on to wickets, find runs in the meantime.
Walking down was Henchard Hamilton, growing in confidence after a scratchy start. But Alam, you have to give a lot of credit to him. He wasn't perturbed by any of the movement. He was just hitting his good areas that he's aiming for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just about to point that out, about the fact that Hanchard is moving across the stumps, but it doesn't move Alam to try something different. He's kept it on a length where it's been hard to play. And he just jams up Hanchard Hamilton for room. Again, very, very impressive from Muhammad Alam.
Right on the money. Back of a length within the stumps. Henchard Hamilton couldn't do anything with it. Another impressive over from Alam. Just the 3 of it. 3 gone, 16 for 2. The Fire. Daron Davis into the attack. Probably he was the weakest link yesterday for the Royals in a very, very tight game. Pulling inside the power play. Dewey does the right thing. Accumulate a single and get Hamilton back on strike. He was a force against spin that we saw in the first game.
Yeah, the key here is going to be your length. He's someone who showed he liked to pull and very good sweeping as well. So you have to find that middle ground between that sweep shot and that pull. Because if you let him get it behind square on the onside, there's really nothing any of the fielders stationed there can do. So the drone will want to probably push it a little bit wider and keep it on the fuller side of things, and dare Hanchard to scrape him all across the offside.
Well, sweep and the pull shot are his go-to shots for Hamilton, so the line also will be crucial. This one, he opens up that offside. It was a full toss, it has to be said, but he's put it in the gap and not quite enough legs to go over the rope. Will collect 3 though, Hamilton, putting Davis under pressure immediately.
Yeah, good work from Muhammad Alam. You know, he's coming off a spell, his opening spell of 2 overs, and running all the way through. It's impressive. Oftentimes you'll see some of the quicks come out and try to leave the field. He not willing to do that. He wanted to run all the way through. And really great effort in the field.
Knocking into the gaps, Dave, and collecting a single. Yeah, Alam is showing that he's a great athlete as well. We'll have another chance to have a look. Hamilton probably couldn't get to find the middle of the bat, but that chase was good and really athletic bit of fielding to finish it off and save 1 run for his team.
Every run important though. We've seen games come down to the very final over pretty consistently.
Excellent delivery from Davis. That's the area. Hamilton not sure to go onto the front foot or back foot, caught in between.
Get better length here from Jerome Davis. He's changed the angle, and again he's just pushing it into Hanchard. Hamilton pulled the length back as well, not letting him drive.
It's difficult to pierce that offside field through pushes like that. The outfield is slightly soft and heavy.
And for the Atlanta Fire, it's really a question of what's the target score. You have no idea what it should be. Haven't seen 20 overs on a really compact wicket yet.
That's in the air and has gone through the hands of the fielder. Wow, that's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, that's regulation. That's regulation for Sarbjeet Singh Ludda, and it's just gone straight through him. How many runs will that cost? Just take a second look here. It was hit firmly, it was powerfully struck, and it just seemed Ludda was confused whether to go fingers up or fingers down, and ended up just having a huge gap, go straight through him to close out a 4th over that could have culminated with the wicket at 25 for 2.
Atlanta Fire recovering from those 2 blows in the first over. Both the openers went back to the hut without scoring, but then this partnership has started to develop, mainly through Hamilton, who got lucky at the back end of the last over. DeWay has been helpful in rotating the strike without wasting many deliveries. Patra looking for that fuller length. DeWay once again really looking nice and compact, and also very comfortable in just knocking the ball into the gap.
Yeah, and it's actually really good here for the Atlanta Fire because this is what they've needed. They didn't need someone to come in and blaze boundaries because you've lost those 2 wickets. You needed someone to piece things together and let Hanchard Hamilton get going, because when he does get started, it's very hard to get him to stop. He felt out of form with the Marshall Raptors last season, didn't really have a score of notice, but we all know the quality of bats. We saw it in that first matchup against the Raptors, and again, if he can just stick in this middle, already given 1 life, he can make the Royals pay.
You can see there's a distinct difference in his footwork now. The throw came at the striker end, but Devegaran, yeah, you see that stride, Aman Patel. He wasn't doing that earlier in his innings. He was getting caught on the crease. giving the impression that he's getting in now, and that could be a good sign for the Fire.
Yeah, I think he was just confused on what the surface was going to do. Right after the game, he did play on that first strip all the way to your far left on your screen, where the ball was doing a lot. It was popping up. Sometimes would just really turn off on a dime. He's just now found more confidence and trust in this surface.
DeWay's hit it, and it didn't come off the middle, so he exactly knew that what pace it was traveling to the fielder. That's why he called. This is good cricket from DeWay, and Hamilton was responding very quickly.
I reckon the wrong end, though, for the Royals. Probably should have thrown to the keeper's end. Hanchard was a little bit slower off the blocks. He's not expecting that call. Again, direct hit would have been close either way, but I reckon had they thrown this straight to Hanchard Hamilton's end, but a much closer call. Ux did drop the bat as well, so direct hit would have actually been gone on that.
Scoreboard is ticking along nicely, like Aman said, not in an explosive fashion, but it is ticking, and the rot has been stopped as well. No more wickets after that first over.
Yeah, they were 1 for 2. You remember when Hanchard Hamilton comes in to combat with Ux DeWay. So this partnership is now good for 28 runs, and the more they can do this, the more they can start to accumulate. You build up a kind of a platform for the Cornet Dry and Zia Shahzads of the team.
Giving himself some room, finding the gap. It may not go all the way, but yeah, you could see that the Fire is easing into this innings. 6 of the over with 1 to go.
You know, really well played from Ux DeWay. Used the feet quite nicely. He's been using it really well, taking his steps, over and making room, coming down, not letting Aryan Batra settle. And this is often something that the likes of Batra, Subramanian, and Fadi Samhadri do to batters. They don't let them settle because they both so many different types of deliveries. But you see Ux DeWay not letting Batra understand where to pitch it.
Pushes it back straight to Batra. Batra this time correcting his line and length, pulling the length a little bit back, and the line tight onto the stumps. Good finish for the youngster. 5 gone. Atlanta Fire 31 for 2.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
First signs of spin for the Baltimore Royals in the form of Mohammad Mohsin. Now, we know how great Mohammad Mohsin is. He's done it with the Texas Super Kings. He's done it with the Michigan Cricket Stars in years past in minor league cricket. Has since come from the Central out into the South, and now looking to be a key part in this Baltimore Royals bowling lineup.
Very crucial phase of the game. Just the last over before the power play. Slip in place for Mohsin.
No run on offer there. Mohsin was really good with his lengths, I thought, in yesterday's matchup. He was getting really good rip off the surface and getting good dip as well. And very different from the other leg spinner on this team, Sarbjit Singh Ladda. Flattered through the air, and again comes from very high arm angle as well.
Yeah, they're different. Ladda goes from low to high and dip, and Mohsin starts from high up top, and it feels like it keeps coming at you. Very difficult to judge the path of his flight.
And the delivery that's made him very, very successful also is the googly. Majority of his wickets in Major League Cricket have come off of that googly, and so something to watch for if you're Ux DeWay, as this will be his first time playing Mohammad Mohsin. He likes to sneak it in early, and if he gets one early, you can almost expect 2 or 3 more to come after.
Happy with his field. That's what the signal was. Ravi Mehra is not happy. Now he is as well. This was a big ripping leg break. Mohsin is appealing. No one else is.
Yeah, Mohsin was already running off. Mohsin was going and saying, hey, this is out, right? And then looks back. I think it's just Oxdeve scraping the ground because the wicketkeeper and the slip fielder both just looked at him. It's like, no. No worries there. Good bowling, sir. That one is straightened up. And again, if he's got the line and length of that one right, I think Oxdeve could have had a long walk.
Yeah, not just the turn, but also the bounce as well. Hit him high on the thigh pad.
This one's hit into the air. Very nicely done from Oxdeve. It's into out over extra cover. A scoring area in today's play, where there's the first game and now the second. Oxdeve made it look easy.
That is a great strike. Obviously inside the power play, so no protection in the deep on the offside for Mohsin. He only had to cover the infield. And it went quite a long way. It seemed like it plugged in the outfield, but then just trickled away from the fielders over the rope.
It's not easy to do that shot. That's a shot of high class, into out over extra. And again, I don't think Mohsin will mind that shot. I think what he's hoping for is that Ux starts to free his arm and play away from his pad a little bit. I think that's why you see the two fielders in the deep, both on the onside. This is in the air. I don't think it'll carry. It won't. Just hit away. And as far as Mohamed Mohsin overs go, a good one for the Atlanta Fire. 6 runs coming from it is 37 for 2.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
In the air, elaborate from Oxdeve, who's just starting to turn it on right now. Really well played.
How about that? He just got down pretty low, sent the signal out to the bowler nice and early, but then the execution came after that. Look at the balance that he remained, and it was a reverse flick from outside the off stump just behind his back towards fine. An incredible stroke.
Yeah, you usually see that played over the right-handed batter's left shoulder. He's gone from his right shoulder as he welcomes Sujat Khan with his first over in this 2024 minor league season, presented by Yash Technologies. This is into the onside. Oxdeve, he's turning it on. He could be the spark plug this Atlanta Fire team is needed. He picks up a 6.
He's woken up to the action all of a sudden. He was prepared to knock the ball into the gaps to get his eye in, feel of the wicket. He's got that now. Back and across his stumps and lifted it, getting underneath a length delivery. You'd have to say it was right in the slot, but the execution was top-notch from DeVay.
Well, how about this? We've talked about just tickling on. Well, Oxdeve's turning it on at the moment. Now, if you're Sujat Khan, where do you go? You've just given up four runs, then 6, and they've come to different sides of the ground. One a conventional shot, one of the more unorthodox ones we've seen today.
Well, now Khan is under pressure.
Into the onside, good from Oxdeve. He's finding runs with ease at the moment, picking gaps with ease. Well done in the field. Will save 2 runs, but Oxdeve has now joined the party that Hansford Hamilton was in.
Exactly, and it feels like the outfield is also quickened up a little bit, especially to that part of the ground. It's downhill, far end of the ground from where we're commentating. You see our tent just behind the wicket keeper, and it was to the opposite side of the ground. So this is good start to the over for Atlanta Fire. 12 off it so far.
Looks for it again. This time he's missed it and very nearly costed him his wicket as well. You can see he was falling over and the keeper was just ready to strike the bails off, but he's being elaborate now. He wants it. He's spent enough time in the middle, and this young man, he's looking for runs.
He's already caught up, more than caught up with the deliveries that he used up. Ideally, you would want him to just continue at this similar strike rate and take the innings deep, allow the big hitters the freedom and clarity that they would need when they come in.
This time makes it on the full, and this is kind of what I've really liked about Akshay Dave so far. He's, taking the balls apart when he needs to, but pushing singles around the ground. He hasn't, apart from the two maybe ramps, he hasn't really searched and played shots that weren't on the cards. And even with that ramp, there was no one at fine leg. It was a pretty safe shot in his own right.
Also, the best thing is that he gave himself that chance by having a look in. Although we keep saying that this wicket is a lot more compact, still it's not your ideal T20 wicket, so you're still allowed to give yourself a few deliveries. And Dave has given himself the best chance to succeed. Hamilton has rode his luck a little bit, but the good news for Atlanta Fire is, as they have brought up their 50, that he's still in as well. Good partnership, worth 49 so far.
And Sujit Khan will end with a single. This is good from the Atlanta Fire. They've brought up 50 runs and they moved past it as well. This has been a good fight back from them. Game on. 7 overs gone, 51 for 2.
Talking about the batting resources of Atlanta Fire: Paul Palmer, Zia Shehzad, Conrad Raya, Mila Ponso. You would have to say that they all can bat, but like I said, they need that clarity in their head with their role. You don't want them to be setting up a platform and then going big. You have to give them that platform. So it means the importance of this partnership is that it needs to carry on for a little longer.
And it was really the key for the Morsel Raptors when in their first match today. What did they do well? They've got a partnership both in the top 3. These two have put together that partnership after the top 3 failed. It's Mohammad Mohsin back in, and this is good. Again, you're not going to hit too many boundaries off Mohammad Mohsin. They'll come few and far in between. But if you can do this, push for one, it now puts a lot of pressure on the rest of a bowling lineup. If Mohsin's going wicket, leg spins from both ends for the Baltimore Royals. A different end for both Mohsin and Sarbjit Singh Ladda. Ladda bowled most of his overs from the commentator's end of the ground, but they've elected to change his end. And interesting, he'll be bowling into the wind, but the wind blowing across the right-hander's leg side, so it'll be hard to play him into that onside. And I'm interested to see how Akshay Dave looks at Sarbjit Singh Ladda, because of the fact that he's started to look to play behind square through some innovative strokes. Does he continue that play, or does he just start to push down the ground?
Well, Akshay Dave is tall with long levers, and the way Sarbjit Singh Ladda takes pride in challenging the batters to come out of the crease, throwing the ball high up in the air, would Dave, with his long reach, try to get to the pitch of the ball, because that will make things a lot easier for him. This is going to be a mouth-watering contest. Full of entertainment is to watch Sarabjit Singh Ladda.
Picked up, cries of catch it, it'll fall short. But Sarabjit Singh Ladda gets it going by throwing one up early. And again, this is a partnership that's going to have to be broken if you're the Baltimore Royals. They've carried on for 55 runs and setting up a platform now. And you can see the wicket is there for the hitters to have success.
Absolutely, and having seen Hamilton play quite a lot over the years, I don't think he'll be happy leaving the crease, so his options will be sweep and pull if Ladda falters in length.
Goes for the sweep. It's high up. Fielder underneath it should be taken. And is comfortably in the end. Sarabjit Singh Ladda strikes with just his second delivery in the form of Hansard Hamilton, who was dropped early on by Sarabjit Ladda. He rights the wrong with his own bowling. Hansard Hamilton, he'll be disappointed with that.
He sure will be. He just wasn't prepared to have a look at Ladda. He already knew what his game plan would be. Went across the line, probably was a googly. And Hamilton was fetching it from outside the off stump, got the edge, and was easily pouched. Nice knock from Hamilton, helped Atlanta Fire recover from those early losses, but they lost the wicket at the wrong time. 56 for 3 now.
Palmer comes into the middle. Remember, was in the East last year with the New Jersey Stallions, has since moved down south. And again, on this batting lineup that seems to be just maybe a touch thinner than in years past, they're going to rely heavy on this partnership as well.
Atlanta Fire are keeping the left-hand, right-hand combination going.
Came in a long way onto Paul Palmer. Was very good not to get into position to play a cross-batted shot, otherwise would have seen his stumps light up.
Atlanta Fire cannot afford to lose back-to-back wickets again like they did in the first over. They worked really hard to recover through that partnership, and they desperately need another one.
Well bowled here from Sarabjit Ladda. You can see he's changing his flight and speed very, very nicely, changing his lengths very well. The first ball to Palmer was a touch shorter. This one pitched up, flighted up, just egging him on to try to hit the ball.
Trying to hide the ball from outside the off stump, because on the onside now hit for the left-hander would be with the wind.
This one just a gentle nudge into the offside to give Palmer his first runs of the day.
It's been an excellent over from Sarabjit Singh Ladda. Be interesting to see what bowling combination the Royals want to continue. Mohsin has bowled 2 overs. Both these spinners in tandem would be a real treat to watch if it happens.
Yeah, and I think this part of the reason they're going heavy right-hand, left-hand combination is to throw off some of these spinners, make them change their line and length, especially with 4 world-class ones. Goes for the reverse. Again, I don't think that's the option. I just think he can play Sarabjit Ladda straight on. It doesn't cost him his wicket, but doesn't lead to any runs. 9 overs gone, 57 for 3. Well, more spin, but not the form of Sarabjit Singh Ladda or Mohammad Mohsin. It'll be a new spinner into the attack, and again, will be really interesting to see what this Baltimore Royals attack does look like because of the collection of spinners they do have in their account. And
Or is it Ronak Sharma now?
It is Ronak Sharma.
Another
now.
wrist spinner.
They have so many to choose from. They're spoiled with all these wrist spinners. Cut nicely there from Paul Palmer, but of all the wrist spinners, you feel like Ronak Sharma is the man to go and attack because you know the pedigree of Mohsin. Sarabjit Singh Ladda takes wickets for fun. He's got about 80 of them now in minor league cricket. So you have to feel like this is the man to attack.
They're all different in one way or the other. Ronak Sharma, the first delivery, he was pretty low and sidearm. He didn't come from right over the top, and he was just collapsing on that front knee at the crease.
Skiddy, it skids straight through. The question is, was it glove and bat first, or was it the pad that was struck first? The umpire seems to think it was the glove and the bat. Ronak Sharma, on the other hand, convinced it hit the pad.
With his kind of action, the sidearm action on this pitch, it really rules out that anything will go over the stumps. So, yep, that little scratch of the gloves was the ball jammed off the pad onto the gloves onto the pad, and another one, good delivery, already putting pressure on the set batter Dave. 2 dots, and he's spinning a web already in his first 3 deliveries.
Yeah, spinning a web indeed. This one, the googly, you see it there, just comes back in on Dave. For those of you not familiar with Ronak Sharma, he played in the USPL this past edition of it and was very, very good there. And to see him here, the Royals, they just have so many options. Cries of catch it, but that's it beautifully. Use of the feet was phenomenal from Dave. This is a young man who is flourishing in front of our very eyes and proving to be one of the very, very bright talents in minor league cricket.
Remember when Sarabjit Singh Ladda came on, I thought it would be a better option for him with his reach and long levers. Really skipped down the wicket really nicely, and then those hands took over. How beautiful were those? The bat swing so smooth and fluent.
Yeah, it was the one delivery that was slower from Ronak Sharma. He's been very quick through the air. That time flighted it, allowed the feet to get there. Looking for that pick shot over extra cover, and Ronak Sharma, he's one of those animated spinners, and you gotta love them. But he's been very close to finding this wicket of Dave.
Yeah, on the other hand, Dave, having charged down the wicket on the previous delivery, was very reluctant. Probably was a similar delivery to the one that he hit for 6. Now wasn't prepared to leave the crease on that occasion.
It's the mind games, right? You're expecting it to be quicker, and then it's still flighted up. Hit high and handsome. Dave is putting on a show here on world-class batting right now.
At the moment, Ronak Sharma would find that it is no justice for him. He bowled 4 magnificent deliveries, but then the 2 classy hits to the fence has really ruined his over. This was another of those glorious strikes. I just love the bat swing of Dave. 2 sixes in the over, halfway stage. Atlanta Fire 70 for 3. Sarabjit Singh. This one has been carted away by Palmer. Wouldn't carry to the sweeper for a moment. I felt like it was going to. The wind has picked up here at the Paramveer Sports Complex.
Yeah, it has. You can see there's this paper bag sliding across your screen. It's just left, but it is moving quite a bit, this wind. And again, it's moving from the right to the left of your screen. And so this makes hitting into the onside for the right-hander so difficult. But Oxtave has been so good today. He's moved into the 40s now.
Gave himself some room. He was looking to open up that offside. The wicketkeeper was a bit cheeky there as Dave was moving inside his crease. He was just waiting for the moment where Dave would have lifted his foot, but I think his second foot was still firmly inside the ground.
Yeah, those judgments are so hard to make live. I don't know if there's any way that any umpire was going to see that. Again, he was just waiting and waiting and waiting on Oxtave to just step over. He was off balance after he played the shot. He moved outside his crease, threw all of his weight at it, and he was just starting to fade away, fade away, fade away. And the Royals want to see the back of Oxtave again. No third umpire here, and we'll have to just live with that call there. Probably a safe one in the end.
Just another single. Just keep Ladda at bay. This will be an interesting replay, Aman.
Yeah, again, you can see it here. He's lost all weight there, and he's just saying right there that that little skip that he had stepped over the line. Again, very tough to tell. Not enough time. We could barely tell here. And again, the umpire's got the best view on standing there at the square leg.
Again, Sarabjit Singh Ladda throwing the challenge to the batters. Palmer is new to the crease. He's faced 6 deliveries. The way Dave is going, Palmer's role is just to rotate the strike. Get the big striking Dave back on strike. Don't starve him of strike whilst he's in the zone. Palmer advances down the wicket. Take inside edge will earn him a single.
Yeah, I think for Oxtave also here, yes, you're striking it very well, but don't try to force every ball and don't try to force these shots. He's had so much success with a straight bat. I just don't want to see him falter using a reverse sweep or try to be really cheeky and innovative. I think for him, the key here, continues that straight bat. If you get out over covers where the wind is blowing, that's okay, but don't just gift your wicket away.
And a swing and a miss. And that is the wicket that Sarabjit Singh Ladda will really relish, because this is what he set out to do, asking the batters to come at him. And when he goes through the bat and beat him in flight, he really enjoys them. And Dave's knock has come to an end. Triumphant celebration from Sarabjit Singh Ladda.
Yeah, slower one just undid Oxtave in flight, but a great innings comes to an end. He scores 41, Atlanta fire, and now 73 for 4 after 11.
Zia Shehzad is the new man in. Ringing the changes is the skipper of Royals. Mohsin has been thrown the ball back again.
And again, he's been given the ball here, and I think it's an important moment for the match because, again, that partnership with Oxtave, him being in the middle kind of held things together. He was the one that was finding success against the leg spinners. But right now you've got 2 guys in the middle. Zia Shehzad, not known for what he does with the bat. Well, he is decent enough, 73 high score, but this is the moment.
Sharp spinning googly there from Mohsin. Yeah, this is not easy now for Palmer, who's really struggled for those 8 deliveries. Whilst Dave was in, his job was to rotate the strike. Mohsin shouting big, but there was a long stride in there from Palmer.
Yeah, again, just running out of scoring opportunities here and options are the land to fire. They're not able to really pick what's coming out of the hands of Mohsin.
Yeah, whilst Dave was in, Palmer would have been content with rotating the strike, but now with Zia is the new man, the onus is upon Palmer to not only make use of every delivery but find the boundary as well. He's trying for that, but the effort in the deep is absolutely splendid there. Saved a couple of runs. This is good cricket from Royals.
Yeah, it does really well, and again, you said the pressure kind of falls onto Paul Palmer now because he's been in the middle. Not going to expect Zia Shahzad to get in straight away. So for Paul Palmer, how can you find runs? They're not to find boundaries straight away, but just can't accumulate these dots.
This was in the air, diving forward was the field. Yeah, that almost carried to that fielder at backward point. He was diving forward. He's still down. Has he hurt himself? It's just the pain of not getting to the ball. Mohsin, his luck is not in. He's bowled beautifully, but he hasn't got the wicket. I think the fielder has got a knock.
Yeah, it was very low to the ground in front of him, and head did whip very, very quick. It might have been the shoulder as well. Just want to make sure he's okay. He is holding his head, and again, those concussions and things are very scary injuries.
I think his forehead banged against the ground as he was lunging forward. He's caught up now. That looks like Ronak Sharma to me. The young leggy, he was trying his best to catch that ball.
Just want to make sure he's okay, and so they're just checking on him, getting him some water, and walking him over because it is very hot, very warm, and again, that is very, very nasty when your head whips like that. So Ronak Sharma is okay, not just in a cricketing sense, but just recovers nicely. Again, those head injuries are always very, very scary and something to look for.
He's still holding on to that forehead. He's been taken out now. That's the right thing, although that will make the Royals short on one option because Ronak did bowl a decent enough first over, although he was taken out for 2 sixes by Dave, but those were extraordinary strokes. Other 4 deliveries was good from Ronak Sharma. On the other hand, Mohsin bowls well, bowls economically. He'd be thinking to himself that on other days he may not bowl as well and end up with a cluster of wickets. It's just that wickets are not coming his way, but sometimes you do not need to worry as a bowler as long as the ball is coming out nicely, you're hitting the right areas that you want to.
Yeah, sometimes I think we get too carried away looking at results and looking at numbers. I think numbers have a tendency to lie. You can have a really great bowling day and come away with no wickets and a couple of edges, can make you look expensive, and you can have a day where you bowl some half trackers and the batters just hit it straight up into the air and you end up looking like the best bowler of the day.
Once again goes past the outside edge. That trajectory of Mohsin's is very difficult to pick. Palmer all at sea. 12 gone, fires 77 for 4.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Two for 5 for Sarabjit Singh Ladda in his 2 overs. Once again, letting everyone know that how formidable he is at this level. An absolute game changer. Zia Shehzad knocks it into the onside for his first run of his first delivery. How do you think Palmer should be thinking and planning this innings now? He's been there for 13 deliveries.
Yeah, and it's a real tricky circumstance because you're not sure what is a really good total on this wicket. You expect the wicket to even get drier as the day goes on, so maybe open things up. I think you're still eyeing to be around 130, 140. You probably are still in the game in any condition at that point in time. You have really good spinners, but with 4 wickets down, you don't want to throw your wicket away too early. Just fetch a couple of runs and hit bad ones away.
Another flighted delivery, Palmer. I don't know if he's thinking to give the charge. He must be wary of that googly as well, that turns big and bounces at times, taking the ball away from the left-hander. He's hung in the air forever, it seemed. Palmer is happy to get off strike. Zia Shehzad is pretty quick. He got there despite that direct hit.
Yeah, and it's a good option for Paul Palmer. I was just beginning to look at the field set, and there is, the fielders on the ring are just back on that circle, and if you just play with soft hands, when he's looking to play big shots, he's looking to play over extra cover from how wide that delivery is, but he hasn't been able to connect, and while you're still waiting to connect, see a couple off the middle by running him down through third man through point. Zia Shehzad is still more than capable of a bat. It's not like he is a tail ender. He is someone who does hold the bat and again has a decent minor league record as well, can find runs. So just rotate the strike, and I think you give yourself enough time to find a way to score.
Top edge, but no one there at 45. Zia will pick up a single. Yes, Zia, having broken into the major league, would really want to kick on and make this season a big season for him with bat and ball. An extra run has been earned, courtesy an overthrow. So yeah, this is very important for him. He would definitely want to contribute with the bat as well. We all know he's a formidable bowler, but yeah, those runs can really put him in good stead when it comes to better and bigger opportunities.
And the real interesting thing with Zia Shehzad, you see a single there. They could push for 2. No, they won't. But the interesting thing for him is he's one of the premier leg spinners in the country, and he's almost stuck behind maybe the premier leg spinner in the country, Mohammed Mohsin. Both of them are part of the Texas Super Kings. So, he doesn't get into the side because they have the domestic leg spinner in Mohsin, who's just been the best domestic spinner in the league. And so he suffers from that a little bit. Did get a game this particular season for the Super Kings, but if he adds it with the bat, I think could be a real conversation for the Super Kings to play both domestic spinners, or maybe an opportunity if a trade's introduced, maybe that becomes a trade that they make. 13 overs gone, 82 for 4.
$82 for 4 with 7 overs to go. Another 60 odd runs will take him to that 130 or past that 130 mark. 132 in the range of 130 and 40 could be very competitive. The sun has really been baking down for the last 45 minutes or so. The clouds have dispersed. Rose Davis starts a fresh spell.
And there's serious signs of turn on this wicket. There's plenty of that. And so I think about Emil Alponso. I think about Zia Shehzad and the turn that they can extract. And you're just concerned.
That's been taken. Another brilliant effort in the field. Diving forward is never easy, and especially with that ball coming, spinning towards and dipping towards him. Alam, I think, got his hands underneath the ball just in time. This is a terrific work.
You were just talking about how much the ball is turning, and you can see that just turned on the batter, and again, just surprised him with that. Zia Shahzad was looking to play that way straighter, turns on him, finds the outer half of the bat, and he'll have to go. The Atlanta Fire now, 82 for 5.
Conrad Roy, the former captain of Atlanta Fire, tall fast bowler. He's been with Atlanta Fire from the very first season of minor league championships.
Yeah, Cornet Dry, he's really exceptional with the ball in hand, and I think he's developed his batting over these 4 years of minor league, and he's always been someone known to hit towards long on. What he's done now is out of the game behind him. He's able to put it behind fine leg as well.
That is a huge shout, and that is an understatement. Pleading was Deron Davis as Dry was looking to dink that behind square on the onside. Collects a run. I didn't see umpire signal a leg by, did you, Aman?
No, he didn't. He's reckoned there's bat involved in that. And it doesn't look like off the reaction of Cornet Dry that he believed there was either. He was almost just standing there in plain sight. But Cornet Dry, we talked about, he likes to play that little dink shot there. He looked for it straight away. And again, according to the umpire, it's caught just the faintest bit of bat to keep him alive.
Wow, Davis, like I said, he was the weakest link yesterday. He's not today because he's got a wicket. He's keeping it pretty tight. And Palmer have seen a lot of damage from the other end. He's also seen 16 balls himself. Helped it on its way straight to the fielder. Unlucky there. Either side of that fielder, there would have been runs. There was sweeper there, but it was square of the wicket, so it would have been a long chase. As it happened, it found the fielder. Another dot.
Yeah, Palmer and Davis know each other quite well, both playing for the New Jersey Stallions and in stints, and so this is an interesting matchup. You have two individuals who, again, have led this team with the bat, with the ball. Something to look at.
Davis goes for that quicker delivery, loses it on this occasion. Malik does well behind the stumps to prevent more damage other than just the wide.
Change of angles now for Deron Davis, and I actually like that. With how quick he's firing it in, can just cause problems.
Palmer once again swings at thin air, doesn't find the bat. The pressure's building on Atlanta Fire. 14 gone, 84 for 5.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ladda will close out his spell in over number 15. A strike or two could really leave Atlanta Fire reeling as it is at the moment. They're really struggling to stay in the game and get to a respectable total. Premeditated dink from Corner Dry.
Probably a safer option against Sarbjeet Singh. Ludda would get a little more time with the style of bowling that Ludda possesses versus Daron Davis. We saw that with Davis. It very nearly cost him his wicket. But again, I think if you're a team looking to bowl to Corner Dry, I think straight away you should include a fine leg fielder, because that is a shot that he's developed. He likes to play. No matter if you're a pacer or a spinner, I think that fine leg is a very vital tool for Corner Dry.
Palmer has hit one in anger into the gap on the onside. These two are quite quick, and the fumble will make it even easier for them to come back for the second. You're right about Dry, but that was a juicy full toss, that first delivery of the over, but he'd committed way too early to change anything.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to give strike to Paul Palmer, and credit to Sarbjeet Ludda as well. He's kept everything out of the arc of Palmer, who wants to hit towards mid-wicket and play into that region of the ground, but has been forced to go elsewhere, forced to go over covers, and with Ludda and the way he skidded the ones through, it's just been really tough for Palmer to really get any bat on it.
Use of the feet, gets it over the infield, at least giving Ludda something to think about. Use of the feet, that was... Palmer has got the realization now that he has to do something.
Yeah, and again, you're just sensing you're coming towards the last 5. You have 88 runs on the board, and again, even on this ground that hasn't produced incredibly high scores, you still feel like you were under par for where you should be at this stage of your innings.
Dry was tempted to that flighted delivery.
Yeah, if I'm Sarbjeet Ludda, I want to bowl most of my deliveries to Corner Dry. He's the man I think Ludda could have a lot of success on. We've seen Palmer already play Ludda quite a bit, but if you can get, their last delivery of your spell to Corner Dry, I think you can find his wicket. He's someone who likes to play towards mid-wicket and long on, can get invited by that loopy delivery that he bowls, and can just get in an awkward position.
Slightly shorter, but couldn't find the gap again. Paul Palmer. Ludda has once again bowled another economical over. Just one left for his work today. 2 for 15 so far his work. He would love to add another wicket, and that too of Palmer. Goes past the outside edge. Splendid piece of work from Sarbjeet Singh Ludda. Nothing less that we can expect from him. Sensational spell of bowling. 2 for 15 of his 4. The fire 89 for 5 after 15.
Last over for Mohammad Mohsin. And Dry looking for that big shot down the ground. Cries. Mohsin says he's caught it. Corner Dry is not convinced. Umpire isn't convinced either.
It ricocheted off the inside edge. Did it hit the ground before it hit the pad first? It'll be an interesting replay. Mohsin claimed the catch. Wow, whoa, whoa. Off the pad and straight into the hands of Mohsin.
Yeah, given a life, Corner Dry. Again, very close call. Very hard to tell in real time. And 2 very close calls for Corner Dry. He's been on the better half of both of them. And again, we can take a second look at this. Again, looking to go straight back down the ground. It's coming off the inside part of the bat. There could have been a flick of the ground there, but very, very close. The umpire, again, has the best angle of it. And again, in real time, very, very hard to make that decision, but Mohsen was very convinced. And again, for as well as he's bowled, he's gone wicketless rather unjustly. Oh, brilliant. Brilliant from Cornet Dry. Innovation there, and it's exciting and that's a 4. And really in an odd place to hit, and a new place to hit for Cornet Dry.
Cornet might have thought that today could be my day. I'm getting the rub of the green. Let's keep trying my luck. And this time one came right out of this cruise. A la Kevin Peterson. He looks like that in his structure and demeanor. The tall figure of Cornet Dry. Handy boundary for Atlanta Fire.
That one spun square. Mohsen appealing.
For what?
Yeah, I'm not sure for what he was appealing for. Maybe he believed it came off a little bit of the pad, but it's more, I think, more out of just desperation. He's bowled too well to not have a wicket to his name. He's given up just 20 runs in his 3.4 overs so far, and he's got 2 balls left to try to deliver himself a wicket today. Quicker on that occasion. I think Cornet just pulled into that shot a touch early. Mohsen spotted it and sped it up and pulled the length back.
It's as much an examination for Malik behind the stumps as is for Cornet Dry. Every time he's been called into action to gather those ripping, turning deliveries, bouncing from Mohsen. He's done well though.
In the air, cries of catch it. Would have really been superhuman had he come down with it. It'll end up being, we'll wait for the umpire's official signal right now, but it'll end up being a boundary to close out. Yes, that's finally called for. 4 runs to end what was a brilliant spell from Mohammad Mohsen, where he went for 24.
It was Kamarjeet there. Look at him fly. Not a chance realistically. It's just superhuman effort anyway. Have to give him 10 out of 10. But Mohsen's spell did not end up with a wicket, but it did with a boundary, and Atlanta Fire on the cusp of getting to those 3 figures. 99. The highest score this weekend has been 113 as 4 overs to go. 99 for 5.
Pace back into the attack, and for a Royal side that's got so many options in terms of pace bowling, spin bowling, this man has really stood amongst the rest. It's Mohammad Alam, and again, on a team that's featured Mohsen and Sarbjit Singh Ladda and Daron Davis, Alam doesn't look like he's far below that level of cricket, Faisal.
Not at all. He looks a great athlete, good in the field as well. Very skillful with the ball, good temperament. All in all, looks a very good prospect. The one that you need to keep an eye on.
Yeah, and again, this is all an audition tape really for Major League Cricket to see who will stand amongst the rest. You know, the names we just threw out there to you, they were featured in Major League Cricket in at least one of the 2 seasons. Daron in the second, and then of course Sarbjit Singh Ladda in the first. Alam, could he be in the third? Single there for Paul Palmer, and this is where I think Cornet Dry comes in really handy. He's a much better player of pace than spin. You would have seen a lot of him, and again, those long levers he'd utilize.
Absolutely, as the 100 has been brought up. Yeah, Cornet has been brought up in South Africa, where pace on the ball is a norm, and with his reach, he has a better chance of striking big. He's given himself a chance. He's been there for 9 deliveries. He's connected a few off the middle, but I'm pretty sure he will enjoy more pace on the ball.
Yeah, so lengths are going to be so important here for Alam. For him, he's got to keep it out of that arc. If he puts in anything too full, it's going to go into that under 15 match that we're seeing just ahead of Cornet Dry. Flicked into the leg side, flicked very well, well placed, should pick up a couple. Cornet wants 2, and a fumble Let them get there quite easily. That's good intent from the big, tall South African.
Yeah, absolutely. And this partnership has built steadily, and 3.4 overs left. They still can get up to 140 if they really finish this innings strongly. Now with Mohsin and Sarabjit Singh Ladda out of the way, that may give them some comfort. Won't be easy though, but still within sight that 140. And if they get there, it should make for a very, very competitive run chase.
Umpires are now coming to have a conversation, and interested to see what this conversation is about. You see the Fire batters going to grab a drink right now. So what could this conversation be?
Aditya Gajar, the umpire, has signaled to the curators.
I think he's gone to the captain, rather.
Oh, is it? I see some movement over there. I'm not sure. Didn't pick up anything in particular to happen. I mean, this was just a quiet couple of deliveries, 3 runs coming off of it, and the umpire sprung into action.
He's shaking his head and pointing over towards the dugouts, but I'm not sure what the idea is, or maybe it's towards the square leg. Now you just see the Royals are having some objections to this. Is this a time issue? They're asking them to bring a fielder in. What is the idea here? Gudger now making some points out towards the scorers, and again the Royals are very upset with this.
We haven't seen any signal from the umpires as well. I mean, everything seemed in perfect order, unless they're asking for a concussion sub for Ronak Sharma, who is outside. I think third official could have dealt with that, but all of a sudden things have started to happen.
Again,
I think, let me say this, I'm just guessing, but I think umpires are probably not happy with the ball, and the Royals, they're pointing out to a couple of hits that went and hit the concrete, and I'm just guessing, but I can't figure out what has happened. I mean, we need to get the official word. We'll try and see if we can get to what exactly happened through our match manager, who's located near the official's tent. Aditya Gajar really looked animated about something. He's still the one who's making those hand gestures.
And the Royals are equally as animated here. No one is in position. They're all huddled around the wicket. Finally now, you see Ravinder Singh Mehra come back to his fielding position, but still not very happy. Mohammad Mohsin doesn't look very happy as well. I think he's still having word in the direction of Aditya Gajar. Whether he's choosing to listen or not is another question. But again, very, very interesting what that little stoppage in play was.
Everything seems to be getting back to place, and we're about to resume action. We'll let you know as soon as we know it, what happened there. As Kone Dry would not have liked that stoppage, because pace on the ball, he middled one, and then this long break. Sometimes these kind of breaks are never good for the batters. 102 with 3.4 overs to go. Alam, who bowled from the top end his first spell, is bowling from the far end now.
Just a touch down, and now we're back into the match. But again, just this is really curiosity that's just brewing amongst us, and why this stoppage of play happened. But we're back on. We're playing cricket now. 5 penalty runs have been awarded to the Atlanta Fire according to the scores. We'll see what that penalty was. But 5 penalty runs have been awarded. So this changes a lot for both sides.
Well, I mean, we didn't see the ball hit any of the equipment or anything, or the keeper behind the stumps. That would normally get 5 runs to the batting side. The other regulation that I can think of that gives 5 runs to the batting side is the condition of the ball. If in umpire's opinion he can change the ball and make a conclusive decision that the condition was altered intentionally, that allows 5 penalty runs for the batting team. Nothing confirmed though.
Yeah, there's all speculation at the moment. Well, all we know, or we think we know, is that 5 penalty runs have been awarded. Now the scorers have since undone a couple of aspects, and now the 5 penalty runs are back as Cornet Dry tickles one into the offside. Quick single taken, but 5 penalty runs seem to be a given. It's just, what were those penalty runs for? We're trying to find that out for you.
Yeah, well, I don't think Atlanta Fire will be complaining, because they'd really struggled to find momentum ever since that third wicket partnership had ended when Henchard Hamilton got out. I have to say that the Royals have felt aggrieved all day. A couple of real close shades have gone against them in terms of the calls from the umpire. It's real drama here.
Yeah, and the players have been a little bit unhappy with, especially from the Royals, a little bit unhappy with the decisions that are made. I don't think it's necessarily because that they went against them. It's because they all have seemed to go against them, and they've felt, from the Royals' perspective, that they were pretty clear cut. I think the Tyrone Davis one comes to mind, maybe even the Mohammad Mohsin catch. There are a couple of LBWs that were close early on in the day as well. So there's a lot of interesting circumstances and a lot of close calls. Ian Butler had a close call. Starting to lose track of all of them. There was a sound on that, and Cornet Dry's walking, and you can hear the shout from Mohamed Alam after all the frustration for the Royals that were building. They close out the 17th over with the wicket.
There's a couple of things worth mentioning. That's Alam's brilliance, but also very, very sporting of Cornet Dry. The gentleman that he is, he knew he'd got a scratch. He didn't even bother looking up and walked away. But credit to Alam. He's really come to the fore. He's exhibited great skills, great temperament, and the scream of delight to celebrate his third wicket. Cornet Dry departs. Atlanta Fire 1-1-1 for 6.
Well, we're back here in the 18th over, and we just have a little bit of confirmation for you about those 5 penalty runs, and again, a lot of speculation about what they possibly could be. We've just got an official word that it was for the Royals not informing the umpires about a substitute made on the field. So all substitutes are allowed to come on to the field if someone feels hurt, if whatnot, but you have to inform the umpires. The umpires felt like they haven't, and Mohsin is now having a conversation with Aditya Gujjar, who doesn't seem too pleased with that conversation either. And again, this is just a little battle brewing right now between the Royals and these umpires.
Yeah, but if that has happened, that is real schoolboy error. There's a lot of experienced cricketers in that Royals lineup. The skipper who's played a lot of first-class cricket in India, Mohsin, Sarabjit Singh Ladda. As we watch another single, but it will always come down to the captain to inform the umpires if there was any substitute.
And speaking of captains, Emilio Ponzo is in, and I think if you're the Royals, you got to get out of this frame of mind of, thinking, okay, we've been hard done by. Okay, yes, maybe you have, right? Maybe you haven't, maybe you have, but whatever you feel, let's throw it to the side now. You got to go out there and play cricket. You still have 3 overs remaining. You still have to bowl them out. If you end up leaking runs because you're just not focused, your mind's not there, it can really make life harder. Emilio Ponzo in the air and away from the fielder, and Ponzo's got a much bigger role to play with the bat this season than seasons past, Faisal.
Yeah, exactly. It's a huge promotion for him. I've seen him bat at number 10 and 11. Yeah, you made a good point about Royals feeling sorry for themselves that they were hard done by it. There is no space for that in professional sport. Whatever comes your way, you have to take it on the chin and move on and produce your best skills and the best result that they can have to get the match in their favor.
Oh, beautiful. Paul Palmer used to the feet and sends Aryan Batra all the way down the ground. We've been waiting for those strikes from Paul Palmer, and we just seen one there.
He's reaping the rewards of just hanging in there. He didn't give up. And this one, although it was a slow delivery, but the use of the feet took him closer to the ball, allowing for those arms to swing freely. That was probably his best shot of the day, and it has came at the right time because 15 deliveries to go. He can find a couple more of those big hits. Atlanta Fire would have got to that respectable total that we've been talking about.
Inside half of the bat will end up finding a couple of runs, just the one. But I think the use of the feet to Aryan Batra is probably your best bet. He's not express pace, maybe like Muhammad Alam is, but he's someone who can cut the ball around. So if you can get to the pitch of the ball, you take away a lot of what he does best.
Exactly, especially with the wicketkeeper standing back. You can try to do that. And if you get to the pitch, you got a better chance of making a good connection.
That is that delivery is given out. Maybe the worst way to be given out. That was a rank. Really, it was just a drag down from Aryan Batra. He's gonna look back at this and said, how in the world have I taken a wicket of this? It was slow, but it wasn't where he wanted it to go. It was stuck in the hands, and it's hit Emilio Alfonso on the pads on the way down. And really, there was no choice for the umpire but to give it out. Really a poor way to get out.
Was it coming down enough though to knock those bails off? Aditya Gajar thought so, and Emilio Alfonso will have to live with that. He's gone back without scoring. He's gone for one actually. 120 for 7 Atlanta Fire.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ansh Patel now, he's out there because of really a comedy of errors from the captain on that delivery from Aryan Batra, but it's his first wicket in this match nonetheless. Yeah, quick there from Batra, get his hands back around. We'll take one look at this before we go. Just take a second look at this. Where has it hit Emilio Alfonso? It's slow, it's short. Yeah, and it's hit him really on the waistband. Close call. We'll get more into discussions about that. Keep that fresh in your mind for when we come back. It's 18 gone, 120 for 7.
On the bell.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Alam back in with the ball in hand to start this 19th over, pushing for 2, and they'll get it. Well, Paul Palmer, and the Fire will want Palmer to have the majority of the strike left in this innings to give themselves the best opportunity to climb to 130. And Faisal, with all this talk about them maybe being a bit slow, 140 still on the cards, you think?
Absolutely. 2 boundaries in the remaining 11 deliveries will take him to that 140. Boundary 4s, 6 is if 6 is, that'll be even better. But Alam has shown great skills. It's not going to be easy against him for Palmer.
Hit into the offside. It was a real drag down from Alam. The one time he's missed his length, and that's far too easy for Paul Palmer, who's just, like you said, reaping the rewards of just hanging in.
And that came off the sweet spot of the bat. It really made a cracking sound. It was a drag down. But the timing was really superb on that. I said Palmer's best shot was the 6 in the previous over. Probably that made even a better sound, although the result was just the 4, but boy, what a shot.
Pushed into the offside. Quick single. Oh, it's going to be run out. No. I think it's the wrong end again. That was a throw that needed to go to the keeper's end, and they'll find 2 runs. I think if that's to the keeper's end, you got a lot more time to settle yourself and probably dismiss Ansh Patel, who just was not sure about taking those runs.
Yeah, the wheels are actually, you can't even say that the wheels are coming off, but a bit of sloppiness after that 5-run penalty has crept into the Royals game. That is not what's called for. I mean, some senior heads just need to just concentrate. 9 deliveries are a lot. This could still make or break this innings. You know, really time to concentrate hard and finish the job for Royals.
In the air, away from the fielder, and he's found a gap, but the fielder does well to get around. Coming back for 2. This should be out. It will be, but it's actually a good sacrificial run from Ansh Patel. This isn't baseball, Mohamed Alam. You might be in the States, but there's no double plays in cricket. But Ansh Patel goes.
Well, this was terrific piece of work in the deep. Really covered the ground quickly and sent in a flat return on the bounce. Credit to Alam as well, who got himself into good position. Can't fault the batters. They had to try. They had to expect that the throw won't be as good. The fielding was good. The pickup and throw superb. Credit to Alam. The one on the non-striker end will count, and the one on the striker end wouldn't count. Palmer, after playing a good hand, has departed. Atlanta Fire 129 for 8.
Paul Palmer still on strike. Dab down, find 1, and I think he's just hoping to retain strike. It's going to be Abdullah Quadri, I believe, who's come in to join him. It will be. And Quadri now has got 2 balls to survive and try to score some even runs. I don't know if they want any odd runs, the Fire, but some even runs will do.
I don't know if Palmer will allow Qadri the free hit. Just go for it. All or nothing, maybe. Still 1 wicket in hand after that if Qadri goes, but let's see what happens. 130 still shows a little bit of respectability, pretty close to the par total that we reckon here in the com box. 140, that is.
Oh, no, 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 don't do that. I think the Atlanta Fire have missed a trick there by taking that single. You needed Paul Palmer to start on strike, but it will be Abdullah Qadri to start things off in the 20th over. It's 131 for 8. It will be pace on for the Baltimore Royals in the form of Aryan Batra. It'll start to Abdullah Qadri. Best circumstance for the Royals.
What are you doing,
Oh my
Abdullah?
God. This is not what you needed. This is not what you needed at all. Needed a way to play every delivery, but unable to get going, and we'll see yourself off strike and into the dugout.
It's a comedy of errors from Qadri. He didn't know what was happening. The ball went straight to Malik behind the stumps, and he was stranded. And not ideal for Fire because Palmer is stranded at the non-striker red as number 11 walks in. 131 for 8.
Athindra Subramanian on strike. And this is why that single to end the last over was so crucial, because it means Paul Palmer is going to be stranded at the non-striker's end, and he's got 2 tail enders to try to get him to play now 3 balls rather. That's the maximum Paul Palmer can play now.
Well, one thing I have seen Athindra from the inception of this minor league, I can't believe he's batting at number 11. He's young. I know his main job is to bowl, but he should concentrate on batting too.
Does well to get off strike there. And again, now Paul Palmer will want to see off these remaining deliveries. I'm curious to see how Batra bowls to him. We've seen Ludda push it out wide against him when he was able to get wide off Paul Palmer, off of Muhammad Alam. He was able to push it over the offside, but that was when it was short. I reckon that if you're fuller and wider, you probably have more room for error than being closer to him.
Yeah. Little conversation between the senior pro Mohsin with the youngster. It's still crucial 3 deliveries. This game is on a knife edge. You feel the run chase just fizzled out in the first game. I don't think this is going to be that one-sided.
Hit straight down the ground or just be one. Athene's got to be quick to get back. Throw comes to the right end. Oh, he's just lodged the bells before he's collected it. And so even if he had collected it, it would have been fine. But that's good running from the Atlanta Fire, and I think it's good recognition from the Athindra Romania, knowing straight away I have to be off the mark hot.
Absolutely, he made that second run possible. He just put his head down and sprinted as hard as he could. And when the throw went to the striker's end, Malik, his body ricocheted against the stumps to drop the bails. As it happened, he couldn't even collect the ball, so it didn't come to the umpires to make a decision on that. But a couple of runs means that 134, that 140 still in sight.
Look at where Paul Palmer's standing. He's standing on his off stump. He's looking to play into that leg side. And gets it behind square. It's too short and too far in to Paul Palmer. He's got to keep it outside the arc. He had to have spotted that movement early. Gives up 4 runs and moves to 138 to the Fire.
Very, very handy boundary. Palmer has really played an exceptional knock for Atlanta Fire. For a moment, it looked like he was struggling. He couldn't get the ball off square. He was playing dots after dots, not finding the middle of the bat. But look at now, 39 is an invaluable contribution in the context of this match. Final delivery to come.
Straight up into the air. It will fall safe. And they'll come back for 2. No, they won't. They'll just stay for the 1. Actually, good throw in the end, but that was a better delivery from Batra. But the Fire, they've done well. Remember, at one point in this match, they were 1 for 2. And they moved all the way back to 139. So now they're right at what we reckon is the par score at this venue of 140. The Baltimore Royals, they've got a chase on their hands now.
Absolutely, and we have got an exciting game on our hands because Baltimore Royals, they show their batting had strong basics. They really did well for most part of their first game, almost 15 overs. But their bowling and fielding effort was pretty good for most part. The third wicket partnership between Hamilton and Dave really got far back on track after those two early wickets. 40 from Paul Palmer, unbeaten 40, really held together this innings towards their second half. Had a little bit of support as well along the way. 139 is just about par.
Yeah, you look at that bowling card. I think Alam was so very good in his 4 overs. Took 3 wickets, 21 runs to his name as well. Sarabjit Ludda just doing Ludda things. 4 overs, 15 runs and 2 wickets. Mohsin unlucky to not get a wicket of his own. Jerome Davis was quite special, even with a couple of wrong decisions. And Aryan Batra gets 2 wickets as well in his 4 overs. So that'll close things out for this first innings. And now we've got a real game on our hands. Sun beating down. Don't go anywhere. Join us right back here at the Baltimore Sports Complex in just a couple of minutes with the Baltimore Royals. We'll try to chase down 140. 3 bat. Even Obis Panar was part of this team last year and has moved on. So, I think this top 3 is going to have to hold things together and see what they can do from there. Muhammad Alam, first delivery.
Got on it straight away. Has it carried? It has been picked up brilliantly. What a sensational start. This is flips in place. Knocked him over. Top of off. We were talking about, and top of off. He's hit it. Uprooted the stump. This is a sensational start from Alam.
He's not in the 11 today.
Oh, that is a big shot. That really jacked back in. Batra cannot believe it. Henchard Hamilton once again was caught on the crease.
This worrisome.
This is Hamilton's favorite area, and he's found the middle of the bat for once. He desperately needed that. Slightly short. This one, he gets an edge. It is running downhill. It will go pretty quickly in that direction and will have enough legs. Good finish to the over. So the line also will be crucial. This one, he opens up that offside. It was a full toss, it has to be said, but he's put it in the gap and not quite enough legs to go over the rope. Will collect 3 though, Hamilton, putting Davis under pressure immediately.
He's on a really compact wicket yet.
That's in the air and has gone through the hands of the fielder.
This one's hit into the air. Very nicely done from Akshdev. It's into out over extra cover. A scoring area in today's play, whether it's the first game. In the air. Elaborate from Akshdev, who's just starting to turn it on right now. Really well played.
How about that? He just got done.
Yash Technologies. This is into the onside. Akshdev, he's turning it on. He could be the spark plug this Atlanta Fire team is needed. He backs up
and pull if Ludda falters in length.
Goes for the sweep. It's high up. Fielder underneath it should be taken. And is comfortably in the end. Sarabjit Singh Ludda strikes with just his second delivery in the form of a hand shot. Light it up. Hit high and handsome. Akshdev is putting on a show. Just gift your wicket away.
And a swing and a miss. And that is the wicket that Sarabjit Singh.
The turn that they can extract, and you're just concerned.
That's been taken. Another brilliant effort in the field. Diving forward is never easy, and especially with that ball
behind him, he's able to put it behind fine leg as well.
That is a huge shout, and that is an understatement. Pleading
rather unjustly. Oh, brilliant from Cornet Dry. Innovation there, and it's exciting. That's a 4.
He's bouncing from Mohsin. He's done well though.
In the air, cries of catch it. Would have really been superhuman had he come down with it. It'll end up being, we'll wait for the umpire's official signal right now. There was a sound on that, and Cornet Dry's walking, and you can hear the shout from Muhammad Alam after all the frustration for the Royals that were building.
So making a good connection.
that is that delivery is given out. Maybe the worst way to be given out. That was a rank
Easy against him for Palmer.
hit into the offside. It was a real drag down from Alam. The one time he's missed his length, and that's far too easy for Paul Palmer, who's just away from the fielder, and he's found a gap, but the fielder does well to get around. Coming back for 2. This should be out. It will be, but it's actually a good sacrificial run from Ansh Patel. This isn't baseball, Muhammad Alam. Circumstance for the Royals.
What are you doing, Abdullah?
This is not what you needed. This is not what you needed at all. Needed a way to play every delivery, but unable. And gets it behind square. It's too short and too far in to Paul Palmer. He's got to keep it outside the yard. He had to have spotted that movement early. Gives up straight up into the air. Will fall safe, and they'll come back for 2. No, they won't. They'll just stay for the 1. Actually, good throw in the end, but that was a better delivery from Batra. But the Fire, they've done well. Remember, at one point in this match, they were 1 for 2, and they moved all the way back to 139. So now they're right at what we reckon is the par score at this venue of 140. The Baltimore Royals, they've got a chase on their hands now.
Absolutely.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.
To the Baltimore Sports Complex here right outside of Atlanta, Georgia. We're in store for a thrilling second innings here where the Baltimore Royals, they'll need to chase down 140. And it looks like they'll send out a new opening pair. Obis Pinar, a promotion for him as he'll get to open. Usually someone who bats in the middle order. He's someone who kind of made a name for himself as someone who is a finisher, but without Jaskar Malhotra, they've elected to use Obis Pinar in this position because they do have Mohamed Mohsin and Aaron Davis in the back end of things. He'll be alongside Abdullah Malik. So curious to see how this goes. Of course, opening the bowling for the Atlanta Fire, never a question. It's Cornet Dry. He's got the new ball in hand. He's got a slip in place as well. Should be a good matchup between two South Africans and two individuals who would know each other very well. Just keen to see the lengths in which Cornet Dry elects to bowl. We saw him very much back of a length to start things off with the Marshall Raptors. I'm wanting to see how he starts things off to Obis Pinar. A new position for him, opening the batting here in minor league cricket. And starts off with a dot, does Cornet Dry. And it's important here for Obis Pinar to just stay in the middle and spend some time out there. Was undone by a funny Samhadri ball that cut a long ways away, not dissimilar to the way Ryan Wiggins got out earlier today, if you were with us. So just want to see how Obis Pinar handles the proceedings here. Tickle down the leg side. It'll beat fine leg running towards the boundary. And they'll come back for 2 runs. So the first run's on the board for the Baltimore Royals. And we speak about opening partnerships and speak about opening pairs. The brand new opening pair. Gunwarjeet Singh opened alongside Jaskar Malhotra yesterday, and Abdullah Malik came down to number 4. It's a promotion for him. Haven't seen him in action yet, but again, it's Obis Pinar, that man who has made quite a name for himself in the middle, finishing innings off. That's what he did in Major League Cricket. Different role for him today. Use of the feet, and it'll beat third man, and it'll end up being 4 runs. Fortunate start there for Obis Pinar. He had had enough of just standing and taking what Cornet Dry was delivering. He used his feet to come down the ground, but just a little bit of shape away. And caught the outside edge, but just not wide enough to get to that fielder stationed out at third man. It's a good start for Cornet Dry. You would like what he's doing, what the lengths at which he bowls. He bowls a very hard length, gets a lot of extra balance with his height. Slower and pushed nicely. Just missed the length there. It was the right idea, I think, because of how aggressive Pinar was throwing his hands, but it was a slower ball that ended up becoming a low full toss. Had that one pitched on the surface, could have really been interesting. But I like this move from the Royals to send Obis Pinar up the order. Yes, his main role in the side would be as a finisher, but without Jaskar Malhotra, it's a way to get somebody who didn't play a lot of deliveries in their first match some rhythm. And there's no real, it's very hard to name guys that are more important in this batting order than Obis Pinar. He's what they were missing from last season. Someone like him to finish games off and big hitters down low. So you want him in as good as nickage as possible. That one just stayed low on Pinar. He did well to stay down. And again, this is a wicket that was rolled in the mid-innings break. And you're just wondering, with the amount of sun, with the amount of dust we saw blown off during that mid-innings break, that rolling could just have caused this surface to start to crack. And again, could make it difficult batting conditions. I think that's the reason the Fire batted first, expecting this surface to dry and dry quickly. Backwards square, moved closer to that square leg position. As Cornet Dry looked to go to the legs. Dealt with well. Chance, no. Could have been close, but a first over, that'd be good for the Baltimore Royals. A boundary coming off of it, 9 without loss. Abdullah Quadri with the ball in hand. Looked good from the left side of the wicket against the Morsel Raptors. Was on a tricky wicket and really only got into his first over before they had to come off. But when they restarted, he was on the money straight away. New addition to this Fire lineup, and he'll start. So Obis Pinar, he's got really a gully in place, so looking to slide it across the right-hander. No one out in the deep on the offside. The two men stationed are deep backwards square. And third man on the legs and dealt with well by Pinar. Will just be kept to one. I'm Om Patel. I'm joined by Faisal Shah. Faisal, we've seen 10 runs come off the first 7 deliveries. What do you reckon is the game plan here for the Royals?
They've gotten off to a good start. Corner Dry conceded 2 boundaries. One was a streaky edge and the other just a freebie, going for the slow delivery with the full toss. So yeah, Royals would like to keep the momentum going. We saw that Malik can hold the bat, and Pinar, who came in the middle order, has decided to come up top. The wicket still looks better. It's still dry though, as opposed to it being really wet and damp to begin with in the first game. It's dry. Will it crumble? You'll have to continue to see the proceedings.
It'll be a wide from Quadri, and I think for him, find your lengths again. He was so good in that Raptors game, really created a lot of problems for Trevin Griffith. And if you can create problems for him, we saw today, even the best spinners in the country were getting taken apart. Think of Sunny Patel, think of Junaid Siddiqui. So when he was on his lengths, it was very hard to play. I think he rushes batters as well. Second slip in place for the left-handed Malik. Short into him, and we'll get a quick single.
You see the batter got hopping. We haven't seen that. Ball is carrying nicely, especially the hard new ball. Probably that's the best time to get ahead of the run rate for the Royals. Whilst that ball is hard, it can be very difficult after the power play when the ball is softer and the field can be spread out. Sluggish wicket. Really understanding the conditions is the key here in this run chase for the Royals.
Yeah, it was the effort ball of that, and again, you said it right away. Haven't seen a lot of bounce on the surface, but the one man we've seen it from, say Quadri, is part of that group. Full toss has found his partner. Unfortunate there. We said that Malik was jumping when he was on strike, jumping while he was on off the strike as well.
Absolutely. And talking about the effort ball and the purchase that Qadri's got off the wicket, remember, he was the man who caused that long delay on the first day, or yesterday. There you go. Jumped right into the bounce of the ball. Malik, Pinar would have felt aggrieved. There could have been runs. Mid-off was up in the ring.
Trying to go for that Yorker and just misses it, and I don't love that as an option right now for Abdullah Quadri, but I think for him, if he can just find himself on a length, he'd be much more threatening. He's getting, there's that question about bouncing all the one stay low to Obis Pinar. I think that's where he's the most effective. You can get a batter almost striding forward and get one to kick up off the surface as well.
Absolutely, and like our vantage point is slightly away from behind the bowler's arm. The first over of Corner Dry, I did see from right behind the bowler's arm, he was getting some swing and movement. That's why that length that you're talking about, Aman, is important for Qadri as well, to extract any kind of movement.
It's just too full. I'm not sure if it's just coming out of his hands. Again, very humid. We've been sweating over here when the sun's been out, but really uncharacteristic, especially after what we saw yesterday. You just expect him to at least be able to find a good length, but struggling to find any sort of the surface at all.
Yeah, that was as if he's just gone in the Yorker mode already. Credit to Pinar though, he's been moving around in the crease, making the bowler think and just put him off of his length, it may seem. He's back in strike.
Wind picking up, blowing really towards square leg for Obis Pinar. And into that region, a missed Yorker yet again, struggling with the lengths is Qadri, and Obis Pinar not going to miss out.
Yeah, another gift. One leg was up in the ring. A juicy full toss on the pads of Pinar, and Pinar is too good a player to miss on that. Just a little shimmy with his feet, trying to give himself some room, but then he didn't need to do much with that low full toss. Just put bat to ball, earned a boundary, 2 done. The Royals 18 for none.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
More Cornet dry to come. This is the first time Malik would have faced Cornet dry today, at least, and again, he's looking for that big, expansive drive. You said the ball was snaking around quite a bit, so this could be a real option.
There's some dramatic change in weather is anticipated. The wind has really picked up. It's gone cloudy. The humidity that was imminent like just 5 minutes ago is all of a sudden you feel the weather's coming.
This one's gone through the keeper. It's trickling towards the boundary. Won't get there. Will be a couple of runs, and is that an opportunity that's put down? The weather is really starting to play a factor now.
Wow. I think we checked when we arrived at the ground if there was any weather interruptions expected. The weather, the map, the radar didn't show anything, but it's really gone dark behind us and is blowing towards us.
You can see it on the camera as well. It is just starting to shake, and again, that those gusts are really starting to pick up. This camera's at the far end of the ground. You can hear it in the headset as well. We apologize for any audio issues that may be coming, maybe some picture issues as well. This wind has picked up progressively and really out of nowhere.
Yeah, conditions are changing, and we have to get to our Duckworth-Lewis sheets as well at some stage. 2.5 overs done. We need another 2.5 overs to constitute this as a game. Would we be able to get there? Would the rain miss us? We've been threatened before, but other than that gust that we had, the worst part of the rain has missed us so far this weekend.
And again, it's just going to be difficult to see this. And again, we do apologize for the pictures on your screen at the moment shaking around. The audio may be a bit distorted, but you can see that there. Still some brilliant pictures presented by our team. How much those trees are moving out in the distance. And again, we'll see what the batters can do with these kind of windy conditions. Looking straight back into Cornet dry will affect his run up and his motion as well. Slower one. Oh, hit back. Hit straight to Cornet dry. It's come off the body. It's an opportunity down, but would have been maybe the sharpest of them all.
34 is the par score without any wicket at the end of 4 overs. It'll be 30. I apologize. 27 after 5 overs. 31 for 1. 35 for 2. If Fire were able to take 2 wickets, they desperately would need a wicket or 2.
That wind really picking up. Apologies for the audio. This one's pulled into the onside. Oh, clean pickup, could have been close, but it'll close out a third over where the weather could play a factor. It's 21 without loss.
And that
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Dramatic turn of events due to the weather. Really, wind has really picked up. You could see in the distance the umbrellas, they're flying. Some of the advertising hoardings as well. Umpire was clutching onto his hat as well in the previous over when Dry was running in. These pictures will show you that how strong this wind is. There you go.
And again, a lot of cricket here in Atlanta, Georgia, and you can see that from the fire. You can see the tent starting to get taken down as well. Just trying to prepare in case it starts to pick up. Speaking of preparing, these batters will face a new bowler. It's Aksh Dave, who's got ball in hand. He's got to slip in place. Bowling into Malik. That's brilliant. In to out, over extra cover. It's been a shot in a scoring area that we've seen quite a bit today. Malik plays it to perfection.
And what do you make of it, Aman Patel, with the conditions as they are? Would you not want to bowl your best bowlers through to get to 5-6 overs, whatever you can get through? And if the weather comes, I mean, if it doesn't come, then you can still think that you took a calculated risk. But the way inside power play, the shot is big, they're appealing, but the umpire has nothing to do with that.
Yeah, I think the idea is here that they're looking at the off spinner for Malik. They've seen, obviously you have Amila Aponso and you have Zia Shazad, both of whom spin it back into the lefty. They want to keep the ball moving away. And while there is plenty of wind, there's no rain just yet. Dark clouds are moving in, but I think they believe that this is the matchup that they want to attack the off spinner into the lefty, and the way Aksh is bowling seems more like medium pace from 3 steps.
And also it's surprising how long Atlanta Fire is taking in those overs, because they're behind. As we watch another single, they need to get deep into the game to be competitive in that Duckworth-Lewis equation, because just 27 for none would be after 5 overs, and the Royals are already 26 and still only 3.3 overs.
The wind is coming through in phases, isn't it? There's a consistent breeze, and then there's one that just picks up all of a sudden. It's almost like the wickets we've seen. There's just the consistent balls and the one that kicks up out of nowhere. That's the wind at the moment. And again, it was clear and sunny, and some dark clouds have just started to circle in all around us. We're going to hope the weather stays away, but again, a looming threat. And like you said, the Fire should be way more concerned with that than maybe setting every fielder in the exact position. They've moved fielders all across the board right now, need to get through their overs.
Dave has taken far too long. He's just a couple of paces he has to run. Now that the ball has come back to him, he can really rush and get a few deliveries in. Excellent delivery. Just watch the batter skip away from the stumps and throw it wider.
Yeah, and that's the Obis Pinar clear move. You see that on your screen. The wind and the clouds coming in. That jump out, that won't be the last we've seen of it from Obis Pinar. Back of a length and well fielded in the ring. Again, they're packed inside circle there on the offside. No fielders in the deep, so had it gone past him, definitely a couple of runs. They'll close out the 4th over, a good one for both sides, 26 without loss. Well, curious this is Faisal Shah, not because of who's getting to bowl, but the decision of why bowling pacer is because of the pictures on your screen. You see the wind, you see those dark clouds glooming over those mountains. Beautiful pictures brought to you by our team. But again, you see those dark clouds. Those will start to circle in. We were bright, sunny, and those clouds have quickly moved over us. And you would think the Atlanta Fire, with their illustrious spinners, would go, all right, Amila, get your overs in quick. Zia, get your overs in here. They look to Athene Subramanian. Did get it over in their first match. He's tremendous with the ball in hand. There's no question about it. But again, the question about getting through your overs to be in this match for the DLS is so key.
The equation has all of a sudden become very complicated. These little mind games as well. Royals want to delay things, and Atlanta Fire should be hurrying up, but it looks like they're not concerned either.
Just dropped short, and this is what Athene does really well. Mixes it up, slows things down, bowls those cutters, and on this type of a surface could be troublesome.
Yeah, Athene has got great skills, but I think above all, his biggest asset is his temperament. I've seen him bowl against some big players in tough situations, and he was able to deliver his skills.
That'll just stray down the leg side. I think clipping a bit of pad on the way through. But you mentioned the big names he's bowled at. He's bowled to a lot, especially in the Southern Conference. They've been packed with him. To the likes of Justin Malhotra, even Dade Pete, who has a 50 in Test cricket. He's bowled to him, taking his wicket. He's had to do a lot for this Atlanta Fire group, whether that be in the power play or after. They rely a lot upon this young man, and their success feels like really hinders upon his success. Hit into the leg side, fielder out there, and again, I like the field placement from the captain, understanding that, okay, he's going to bowl some cutters, and if he is just a touch short, it'll sit up and we'll be there to take into mid-wicket. So he's put out a sweeper cover and that deep mid-wicket. My question, an interesting point here now, is how does he bowl to Obis Pinar, who's got such long levers, long reach? If you get too full, you're going to see it fly over extra cover.
Yeah, then he's not going to get flustered. He's going to bowl in his areas and deliver his change of pace in the right areas, which will be away from the arc of Pinar. I don't know if Pinar can move around the crease and put him off. That's another thing. But I expect Athene to deliver whatever variations in right areas.
Picked up beautifully by Obis Pinar. He just kind of waited for it, knew it was going to be a cutter, sat deep in his crease, and got it really to his hip height. Very tall man. You can use the power to send it over for 6 runs.
It wasn't exactly the long hop, but Pinar with his movements made it into one, and he really made a sweet connection. Then once that ball didn't grip off the pitch, it just slid on to the bat, and Pinar, who's read the conditions, that blow will get Royals further ahead in Duckworth-Lewis equation.
That's the long hop. It sliced straight up. How about this? Cricket is such a funny game. You get hit for 6 on maybe a better delivery, but the very next one could be the long hop and could just end up being your wicket. I think this is Romanian. Welcome to 2024 in the form of wicket.
He had the last laugh. This one got stuck in the pitch, and it went away from Pinar, who barely could reach it. Excellent take in the end, as the wind and gust has picked up. Tall Obis Pinar has departed the scene for 20 of just 14. Royals 33 for 1.
that on your screen. Windy conditions here. As the 5th over is just almost over. And we have a new man in the middle, but it's not someone who'd be on the score sheet. So this is one of the great innovations in modern day cricket.
Yeah, Ronak Sharma had a knock to his head whilst fielding. So we assume we can confirm that Lamba is the concussion sub for Sharma. Knocks the first ball into the gap to close out over number 5. That means that this game will be constituted as a game. 5 overs have been completed. The Royals had to be 31 for 1 to be ahead on the Duckworth Lewis. They're 33 for 1 as it happens.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, we'll have to keep an eye on this weather, and something we didn't think we'd have to deal with. Again, that original radar that we saw said 9 p.m. was the earliest we would get rain. That's since changed, or it feels like it's changed, even if it's not confirmed. It's Ansh Patel now who's got the ball in hand, and how brilliant was he yesterday? That left arm mystery spin was just phenomenal.
Absolutely. And look, I still will make this point. Atlanta Fire are taking awfully long. It's been good couple of minutes before the finish of the previous over. Ansh Patel couldn't come across to prevent the single though.
Yeah, and for the Royals, it's got to be a measured approach here, and they're kind of almost in two minds there. If I saw that they're battling DLS, but they're also trying to chase down 140. At some point, that risk is going to have to be made. How do you balance that? And Lumba, out there with Malik, both of whom are going to try to find some groove, find some rhythm. That's always the question that you have to take when chasing a total. Again, you hear the winds through the microphone. You have to take that chances of, okay, what's the best balance between chasing my 140 and keeping myself ahead of DLS?
Yeah, it's not an easy task to balance all that. As it happened, it may not rain, so anything said and done during this period could really come back and haunt you. Patel goes through. Lamba is kept slightly low.
Yeah, but I don't think that shot is great against Ansh Patel. Again, hear that wind through the mic. He's very skiddy, comes on quick, won't have a lot of time to get onto that back foot. Better off trying to just slide it down to third man or just pushing it down the ground. Yeah, that's a better shot, I believe, from Lumba. But again, Vansh Patel just so hard to get away. It feels that a loss on no matter what you do.
And that was a googly into the blind spot of the right-hander and turned back into him. Although he was playing with the straight bat, he couldn't do much without hitting it back to the bowler. All kind of noises must be coming through your microphone.
Into the leg side. They'll go for one. Could be close. Fielder did just fall over when he made that throw. But again, the Royals now under the first bit of pressure I think we've seen on them all day long, Faisal.
Yeah, there's a train also passing by. Busy Highway 411 towards our left. Towards the left of your screen as well as you watch the action. Sun is trying to break through. Amidst all, there's a lot of blue sky in front of us. It may come down to no rain at all. I mean, we've all prepared for it, but looks like it's not coming down. Not just yet.
No run on offer. Well, Faisal, how's the quote go? If you fail to prepare, you're prepared to fail. And so all of us taking those necessary precautions, getting some of those tarps down, maybe protecting some very valuable stuff that, if gets damaged with rain, could be very, very expensive to replace. We're still going to try to give you the best coverage we can with the conditions in store.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Big swing, but nowhere to go. He's picking up where he left off yesterday. Ansh Patel, 1 over goes. It's 2 without. He goes with just 2 runs for him. It's 6 overs done, 35 for 1.
see our combox in the background. Aman Patel waving at you. And the weather is coming from behind us, so don't be fooled by a little bit of sunshine breaking through. We hope that it just misses us. Sun has finally broken through.
It's Camilo Ponzo who's into the attack, hoping to break through himself. What you want to see here from Camilo Ponzo is a wicket if you are the Atlanta Fire. Although the sun is coming out, still plenty of clouds, still wind involved. So you need those wickets to get back in it. Ponzo slower to start off this first over in terms of the speed of his delivery. In the air for a moment, and very different from the Camilo Ponzo we've come to know. Faisal, very slow in the air to start his over off.
Probably trying to use that breeze, which is very, very strong. Just try to ball up into that breeze and allow it to dip on the batter. He's coming into the wind, literally.
You hear a lot of times spinners actually like bowling into the wind versus the opposite of the pacers who don't want to run against the wind. Spinners, though, feel like they have a little bit more control over their deliveries when they are bowling into the wind. So this will be the end that I think Camilo would like to be on. Quicker that time and flurried into the offside for one. This is the Royals that we saw yesterday. Faisal milking ones and really not worried about playing too many big shots down the ground.
Yeah, absolutely, but the man who did it very well, he hasn't come out to bat. He's captaining today in the absence of Jaskaran Malhotra, who had that nasty collision with Sarabjit Singh Ladda. It's heavily strapped ankle Jaskaran Malhotra has. We can see him in the field limping around today as well.
And you're just going to hope for the Royals' sake that it's not too big of an injury in terms of the length in which he's out. If he can get back next week, that's ideal for them. And Malhotra recently announced his retire from international cricket, but still a very valuable member here. Good start here from Camilo Ponzo, but the Royals dealing with him well. Again, don't want to lose wickets and clumps. They're right next to that DLS score. What do they need at the end of this over, Faisal?
42 would be the par, so 43 if we were to stop after 7. So a boundary here will take them to that, 42 for 1. A wicket obviously changes the equation. In bright sunshine, Camilo Ponzo.
A heave into the leg side. They'll push for 2 or just settle for that 1. Well, glad to report that the sun has chosen to join the party after a couple of overs of dark clouds. 7 overs gone, 39 for 1. Continuing is Vansh Patel, still operating with a slip. And again, he's so deceptive because he's quick on to the bowler, quick on to the batters, and he has so many variations. Not sure if it's going to go out, not sure if it's going to go back into you. And then from there, the length in which he bowls, everything feels like it's coming to stumps, and you feel like you should be on the back foot. He just makes life so difficult for the batters. He feels like the perfect T20 spinner. This one flighted and helped into the onside.
Atlanta Fire traditionally a very, very good fielding side. Even on some difficult fields down at the ACF. This is a very beautifully laid out field, so it should really present them an opportunity to field well. Once again,
take a look at those pictures. They're beautiful. Wildlife flying around and loving life right now. He's baking in the sun at the moment. Was in some dark clouds, but now he's got some sunshine about him. Another thing that the Atlanta Fire usually contain are some really exceptional spinners. You always think about Camilo Ponzo, but in years past it's been Nasir Hussain, Rakeem Cornwall. This year, Vansh Patel, he adds himself to the list of exceptional Fire spinners.
he does indeed add to the list. Stephen Taylor as well.
Yeah.
A regular with the ball at this level.
Even internationally, Steven Taylor's really made, in recent times, maybe the biggest contributions he has with the ball in hand, taking wickets for fun, being a real option for Mona Patel, the captain of the national team.
I disagree. His biggest contribution was the catch that he took in the World
There
Cup
you
opener
go.
against Pakistan.
I won't argue with that. Big sweep into the onside, and the first time we've seen Vansh Patel really get taken for runs, it's off the bat of Abdullah Malik, and it's going to be 6 of them.
After a lull in activity, finally the Royals have woken up, and Malik, who's been there for 21 deliveries, felt the need that he was falling behind the strike rate and the required run rate. Excellent strike.
This one straight up and won't be taken. Put down at the very end. I think he had it and it went in and out. Malik dropped.
Yeah, that's a regulation catch. Just lifted up with their fielding prowesses. By those standards, it was a regulation catch.
This one gets on to Malik quickly, so good response. After that 6 from Vansh Patel, he'll feel unlucky to not have the wicket of the Royal opener.
Still a good comeback after getting carted away for that 6. Can he close out the over?
1 into the onside. They could push for 2, and they think they will. No, they'll just settle for the 1. A good over for the Baltimore Royals. After 8, it's 48 for 1. We'll get to see leg spin now in the form of Zia Shahzad will come in with ball in hand. And the temperatures just dipped quite a bit. We have been baking in the Georgia sun for quite some time, but right now this wind, the clouds are back out, and it does feel relatively cooler as we see some RVs coming down, honking their horns, enjoying the cricket match from the roadside.
It's quite busy, this highway. Friday night when we had our first game, it really got busy this time of the day. Obviously Sunday, long weekend, still a lot of people out and about.
Starts with a full toss, Shahzad, and will be hit for a boundary. Malik was not going to miss out on that. That's not where you want to be if you're Zia Shahzad. It'll be 6 runs.
He starts off with a rank loosener. The margins are very tight in this game. Atlanta Fire cannot afford to do that. Zia just couldn't land the first delivery and paid the price for it.
And the wind is still pushing in that direction, back towards Zia Shahzad. So he is someone who is going to have to deal with that. And also, if the batters do look to hit straight down the ground, they'll be way more profitable. That's why Malik, even on that delivery, found 6. Pulled fielder there. Will drop just in front of him.
It's very difficult for a spinner to adjust because the one that he throws up in the air, because of the wind, it will carry further towards the batter. That adjustment needed to be made. Leg spin, obviously not one of the most difficult arts, I should say, in cricket to control. Zia Shahzad is very good at it, but the conditions are really testing him as well.
Short and pulled into the onside. We'll just get 1. But again, the Royals have a formula. They are looking to just get singles early on. They'll put the bad balls away, but this is a pattern now. They just want 1s, and they do this so well. They don't consume dot balls, and oftentimes you hear the analytics. The team with the fewest amount of dot balls will end up winning the match, even if they're just singles that you convert them into. straight down the ground. Fielder in place, can only watch it sail over. And the fans are greeted with the boundary. Well taken, sir. It might have been off one bounce, but we'll still give you credit. 6 runs for Malik.
Those back-to-back blows, 1 in the previous over and 2 in this over, has really took the Royals away with that Duckworth-Lewis equation after the 9 overs.
This one is pulled into the onside as you're watching that replay. And it's going to find 4 runs. And Shahzad not giving us time to get these replays up. And right now, the Royals are zooming past.
20 runs off the over. Or is it 16 with 1 to go? Still very, very expensive. 64, that required run rate has come down below 7 if we were to go all the way.
And this is the 4 that we missed live, but again, just short, pulled away. And dealing with it very nicely right now are the Royals. Short again, but this time better, just cramped for room was Malik, pushes it down the ground for 1. A really, really good over. 17 runs coming from it for the Baltimore Royals, 65 for 1 after 9.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
So here we go. It'll be Ansh Patel, who's got the ball in hand. Slip in place as well. In the air, in the air. I don't think it'll carry. It won't. Would have been really tough. I believe it's Rishi Pandey out there. He had to run in from the boundary rope.
Yeah, definitely, the Atlanta Fire needs wickets here. This partnership has really been propelled mostly through Malik, but Lamba has done his part, rotated the strike. But now he will get his opportunity to join in on the action.
Big shouts, big shouts. Ansh Patel was never looking at it. And again, I think it's the movement across. It would have come off the outside pad and then to the slip fielder. But Ansh Patel really gave it away to the umpire. No appeal from the bowler. But really spinning a web right now is Ansh Patel. This one, big shout. Hansard Hamilton's convinced. And finger goes up. Lumba's short stay at the crease comes to an end thanks to some brilliant glove work, and a much-deserved wicket for Ansh Patel comes to fruition.
Yeah, big leg spinner had followed it by the googly, which turned and bounced. Credit to Hamilton as well. Very, very good hands from him. That ball was always turning away from him. Had to gather the ball and bring it back to the stumps in time to catch Lumba off of his ground, which he did. Superb piece of cricket all round from Atlanta Fire. And Lumba, who was giving good support, has now departed. Got overbalanced and razor sharp was Hansard Hamilton. Lumba goes, the Royals 66 for 2.
Well, Abdullah Had Malik has found his touch today, and the man who had touch yesterday was Ravinder Singh Mehra. He's captaining today in the absence of Jaskaran Malhotra. Got out on 49 yesterday. And just 74 more runs needed for the Baltimore Orioles. The game is really in the balance now as we near the halfway stage. Big shout, big shout. Ansh Patel likes it. And given. Ravinder Singh Mehra, who scored 49 yesterday, has a first ball duck. And now it's Ansh Patel who's on a hat trick.
Well, Mehra, who looked so good yesterday, very accomplished against spin, to beat him with a googly first up. It was really a superb delivery. The stride was out, but it kept slightly low. Aditya Gajar thought long and hard before raising the finger. Dejected walk back for Mehra, and Atlanta Fire are well and truly back in the game. 2 wickets in the over for Patel so far. Royals 66 for 3.
Well, looks like it's Ronak Sharma, so Lumba wouldn't have been the concussion sub. Take a look there. It's hit him in the front pad. The question, really, if it feels dead out then, if it's hit him in the front pad, how far outside the off stump, I guess, would he have been? Was the impact outside off? That's the big question, but seems pretty close from our vantage point.
Yeah, that's the only question, because it hit him low on the pad. It wasn't going to bounce over.
Hat trick ball dealt with nicely from Sharma. We'll pick up a single, but this was the over the Atlanta Fire have been craving since the get-go. And with one delivery left, still has an opportunity to get rid of the set Abdullah Malik.
Crucial partnership here for the Royals. Looks like the wind have settled down. We're gonna be continuing for quite a while, so the 10-over equation for 3 wickets would have been 64 to win for the Royals. They're ahead of that.
Got a single out into the onside, and again, this is a game that, whether there's weather factor or not, is going to come down to the wire. We're at the halfway stage. It's 68 for 3.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
.2 is the required run rate of the final 10 overs. Atlanta Fire has got plenty of options with the ball.
Looks like they're going to go to pace. They've been bowling a lot of spin. And interested in the choice of end for Subramanian to take a wicket at this end, but he'll have to be running into the wind, as it is swirling a little bit right now, but still very much blowing into his run-up. And not easy as a pacer to find a rhythm whilst that wind is blowing at him.
Interesting passage of play coming up. Slightly shorter, but the line was good, cramping the batter, so couldn't get his hands free. And with Atindra, you say he's a pace bowler, but he's got all those variations, and he's not very tall, doesn't generally get a lot of bounce, making things very difficult for the batters to get underneath him.
Yeah, 100%. I was just worried about, again, the rhythm running in as someone who, you know, used to bowl a little bit of pace. When you're running in, the wind's blowing, it always just seems to affect, you know, those types of bowlers. You see even at the top levels, those bowlers don't like to run into the wind. And I just thought, even as someone who does bowl a lot of cutters, that can go very wrong if it just sticks up. If he's not finding rhythm, far short, it's just far too easy.
Anything you say, Atindra Subramaniam has got excellent control.
Yeah, he does. I mean, again, this is why he's been so successful in minor league cricket, and He's been proving a lot of people wrong since day one. Again, you would look at him and you'd say, okay, not the quickest bowler that you've ever seen, but very skilled, very sharp, very controlled. And at this age, at this level, it's very, very impressive. And you'd have to imagine he's one of the next few in terms of the youth department to make that jump from the minor league to the majors.
Talking about his run up and running into the wind. Direct hit would have been close, and Chad Hamilton was quick, but I think that bounce off the turf allowed the batter to drag the bat in. Talking about Athindra, when he started off, he had a lot of trouble with his run up, and despite running into the wind, I can see that he's that stint with the national under-19 team, he's really improved, and now he's running it very, very smoothly. That is a good sign. He's a very intelligent cricketer. He gives you that impression when you see him play or when you talk to him.
And I think his confidence as well, right? You don't have to worry about, am I landing right? Am I running right? When you feel good, you can just go out there and execute your skills and your mind is clear. And any cricketer will tell you that's when you play your best, whether you're a batter or a bowler, when you're not overthinking about how you're going to do something, just thinking about what you're going to do.
And also technically as well, he used to drag that front arm across a bit too soon. Just notice that he's keeping it right up for a lot longer than he used to do. That'll give him an extra yard of pace if he wants to. Probably not an option on this wicket, but may surprise a few on a better pitch with his pace being deceptive.
Yeah, and again, this is a really handy over for the Fire. You don't have to go into a Miller or Zia anymore. You can go here, run pace. There's not a real worry about the weather. Let's knock on some wood real quick. But there's no real worry about the weather at the moment, and he's just given up 2 runs to the first 5 deliveries. And now, when the game seemed evenly poised, he's pushing it back into the favor of the Fire.
Absolutely, and that pressure that's building, that may result in some indiscriminate batting. Malik, 40 of 32, is the key here. Ronak Sharma has just walked in. He will take his time. So this is, like I said before the start of the over, crucial phase of the game.
Just 3 runs, Faisal. What an over.
Yeah, another very, very well directed slow delivery. The batter couldn't get underneath it. No room whatsoever as well. 11 gone. The Royals 71 for 3. .69 needed. Skipper is back. And back with an absolute freebie. He's lucky he got away with that. And the batter did get something on it as well, so not even a wide.
Wow. Umpires have said not a no. Umpires have said not a no, and that's what the question is from the batters right now. How has that not been given a no ball? I reckon that was above the waist. But again, umpires, they have the best view of it. They like to say no.
Tip and run. Royals need to make use of every delivery here. If they can't find the big hit, they have to get a single, keep the scoreboard ticking.
Yeah, 100%. 100% they would have to keep the scoreboard ticking, and again, against Emilio Alonso, it's not easy. He's gifted his freebie, and he doesn't give a lot of them. Usually very quick, very straight. And Hansard Hamilton is just so electric behind the stumps, and you would have thought with Jamar Hamilton gone, maybe you lose some of that, flair and pizzazz, but Hansard Hamilton is not disappointed. He's quick with the gloves. He seems to be all the amount of expressive as Jamar. And it's pressure now mounting upon the Royals. In the air, cries of catch it. Should be. Jacob Rana's there and takes it with such ease in the end. Amil Alfonso strikes, and that's the end of Abdulahad Malik.
It's a big wicket. Malik was well settled in the crease, and he was the key to guide this run chase into the second half of the innings. But Amil Alfonso has struck gold here for Atlanta Fire into the wind that hit, and it found the fielder. That is a huge wicket. Malik did play a good hand, but he's now departed, and he's made 41. Royals 73 for 4. Big hitting Davis is in the middle. He does need a contribution for his team's sake, because the equation just about 8 in over required for the remaining 8.2 overs. The conditions are not as difficult, so it is not beyond the realms of these two if they can get in. Talk about that. Amil Alfonso has gone through the gate. Quizzical look from Davis, but he can look all day long and he can tell the story walking, because Amil Alfonso has cleaned him up.
What a delivery that is. This is why Amil Alfonso is highly rated and moved into Major League Cricket. Take a look at this. It's just turned so very, very much. We discussed the dryness of this wicket. Would the rolling create some cracks? Seems like it has, and it's starting to open up. 2 balls, 2 wickets. Jerome Davis goes out, troubling the score, 73 for 5.
Hat-trick ball. Tall, lanky Mohammad Mohsin has walked to the middle. Another left-hander. Amil Alfonso has found a spot outside the left-hander's off stump. Mohsin stayed back. He wasn't going to lunge forward and give that gap to Amila. Nonetheless, a brilliant over from the Atlanta Fire skipper. 12 gone. Royals 73 for 5. Atin back into the attack. It's been pushed onto the onside for a single. Desperately need a partnership. The Baltimore Royals.
Yeah, more than capable are these two bats. Mohammad Mohsin came in higher for the Michigan Cricket Stars when he was over there, and you routinely gave them quick fire 20s. It's a little different situation here. He's got to play a little bit longer, but he's someone who prides himself on his ability to bat He would bat for the Texas Super Kings when they got down to that lower order as well. So it's more than capable, and Ronak Sharma more than capable as well. So these two can do it. It's just about, as you said, building that partnership. It was a difference in the game against the Raptors and the Lightning, and so far proving to be the difference. Remember that big partnership from the Fire? They had a couple of them in the middle. None to speak of for the Royals so far.
Mohsin will collect a single. Yeah, that Paul Palmer's knock was really important. He hung in there. He looked ungainly for the initial part of his innings, but he didn't give it up. And then in the end, he scored valuable runs, and there is enough time for these two as well. They can take a look, and they can stay till the end, take the chase deep. Couple of hits, one big over can really turn the equation. Plenty still to play for the Royals.
And I reckon that Aksh Dave innings as well, very, very crucial. He had a couple partnerships and some big strokes, and what I thought the Fire did well was even when the bowlers are bowling very, very good, they were able to find that one boundary somehow every couple of overs. Very different from the Royals. They've hit the bad ones away, but since the full tosses have gone, they haven't been able to find the ones on a length for runs. The intent has been on a length, just push for one.
You could say that the Dave's innings has been matched by Malik, 40 odd. They just need to respond to that Palmer's innings. And like you said, Aman, both of them are very capable, Mohsin and Ronak Sharma. So there's no need to just give in at the moment. Keep fighting, wait for that window of opportunity. It may come, because when you put the pressure back on the opposition, take the chase deep, then you make the opposition make mistakes, and you should be able to be in a position to capitalize on those mistakes.
But talk about the Fire as well. They could have easily seen that Obis Pinar hitting a couple boundaries early and could have really gotten off the rocker, losing. They were 1 for 2 at one stage. I felt the Fire have kept their nerve very well for a unit that's very new. Oftentimes it takes a while to put a unit together, and that togetherness will keep them from faltering too much. This side, while they're very experienced, haven't played a lot of cricket as a complete side. And so for them to not, fall under the pressure of, oh, you're 1 for 2, the game's over, or Obis has already got going, what can we do? They've just hung in there and took the punches.
You make an excellent point, Aman. I'll elaborate more on this when we come back. Single to finish off over number 13. Royals 78 for 5.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Yaman, you're talking about the togetherness of the Atlanta Fire. I mean, they exist as a club for quite a few years now, and I'd have to give, knowing them personally, I have to give a lot of credit to the owners. As we watch another single down the ground. Every time to that system, you're made to feel so welcomed as part of the family, that every time you see an Atlanta Fire team, like I said, even if it's recently assembled or newly assembled, you find like they've been together forever. And that is the credit that you have to give to the owners. That's the kind of environment they create. Big shout. I thought it got off the inside edge. I don't know what Amila was appealing for.
I'm on the same wavelength, and I think Wilson gave him a fist bump for that very reason. But you speak of the Atlanta Fire in that manner. What's the slogan that they go with? One heart, one fire, right? That togetherness is shown through and everything they do. And I think that's a big telling thing in sports sides around the world, across all sports. The more you are together as a team, the more you're able to keep together through hard situations. And while the Fire, they were felt out of this game for the early goings of it. They fought back in the batting innings. They fought back so far in the bowling innings. And for the Royals, they just have to start to regroup as well and rediscover what, and just find their way back into it.
Exactly, and talking about the owners, Hassan Tariq and his family, they are very proud owners of this franchise, Atlanta Fire. Mohsin looking to get underneath Aponso. And the senior team manager, Halim Bhai, who's a very, very prominent figure in and around Atlanta in cricketing circles. So yeah, these are the people behind the scene who work hard. They never get a mention for putting this unit together and making them perform as they do on the field. And I'm pretty sure a lot of the other owners do the same as well.
Yeah, the owners in minor league cricket are so very great. They're able to, they've invested into this idea of cricket in the United States and have been the real backbone behind why this league has been very successful and why Major League is also very successful. Major League wouldn't be what it is without minor league cricket. That is a certain fact, and again, those owners make the league possible. All the individuals working with minor league cricket and working to promote and create this wonderful league make sure that cricket in the USA is going up and beyond.
Familiar Aponso. He's just a pull-out, watching the non-striker, watching the striker as well.
And I like that from Mohammad Mohsin as well, moving across the stumps. He's showing real intent and fight.
He hasn't found the middle of the bat just yet. Aponso closes out the over. 6 singles off it. Royals just hanging in there with 6 overs to go. 84 for 5. Corner dry. Slightly uphill, and over the years, having seen corner dry, a lot of people, a lot of fast bowlers wouldn't like to run up the hill. But even at the Atlanta cricket fields as well, Corner Dry used to bowl from that far end and used to like to run up the hill. And here as well, the Paramveer Sports Complex, he's chosen the far end, running up the hill. The breeze has really calmed down, so not much of an effect in terms of running into the breeze. Mohsin would enjoy pace on the ball, although it was a slow delivery. Ronak was sent back.
Yeah, and the reason you're going to see, and you think you're going to see a lot of slower ones from Cornet Dry is third man's up in the ring. And with his pace, there's really no reason for third man to be in. So expect the cutters, expect it to be slower, expect it to be close to the body as well if he does go pace on, trying to negate any opportunity of it flying over third man. The field spread out. You have a sweeper cover, a long off, a long on, a deep mid wicket, and a deep backwards square. And that fielder really in position for the Yorker. If it just gets a little bit too full and too straight, also fine leg inside the ring. So you can see the setup here from Cornet Dry and what he's trying to do. I'm surprised this over's come now. Thought maybe he could have saved him to bowl 2 of the last 4, but they're electing to use him in the 15th.
Yeah, here is a good question here. The options that Amila Aponso has with Athene bowling so well, it really gives the captain the options to mix around the bowling combos. This one is fine. It will run away from the fielder. Rishi is quick but not quick enough. And a much needed boundary has broken that sequence of singles here for the Royals.
Yeah, it's a poor delivery. Cornet Dry, looked almost disappointed by the fielding effort, but it's just a poor ball because you've seen the movement across his stumps. He's looking to play it into that region between that fine leg fielder inside the ring and that deep backward square. And with it being slower, he's able to place it into that region. It's smart batting on the part of Sharma for Cornet Dry. He's got to watch this movement.
Oops. The zingers were flashing as Cornet Dry was running in. I don't think it caught the attention of the umpires. I'm looking at the square leg umpire. No signal made, so that will be a legit delivery and a legit run.
Yeah, and it's smart there also from Sharma to just put the ball down, get off strike, let the runs start to flow. This is good here. Just 50 runs needed now. The required run rate just a touch over 9. It's a one boundary game.
Wow, the sparing dive from Hamilton. Slow delivery. Mohsin was setting up for that late cut, but there wasn't much pace on it. Just eluding the outstretched hand of Henchard Hamilton.
Looking to get it very, very fine, very straight, and a thinnest edge there, and it just evaded Henchard Hamilton. You hear the noise around the ground. The under 15 regionals are happening. It's the Midwest regional that's happening behind us. Ohio is one of the sides, and I believe Michigan was the other. And a crazy, crazy win just happened. We'll talk about it after the ball.
Has been helped along, just timed away, but the placement was superb. Split the field beautifully. Another loose delivery from Cornet Dry and punished by Raunak Sharma.
It's just sitting up in the wicket. He's bowling the cutter, but he's just done it too short. And again, moving across his stumps again. You'll see it right there, the shuffle across, and just sat up, asked to be hit on that length at that speed, and wasn't going to miss out was Raunak Sharma. This was the over that the Royals were looking for, and now pressure back to the Atlanta Fire.
There's nothing much in this game. Aman called it right. It's a one boundary per over game, and this over has seen 2 boundaries and a wide. Just falling off of his disciplines here, Cornet Dry went for the pace on delivery on that occasion. Lost control. It's been quite expensive today. None for 24 into his 3rd over, the last delivery of his 3rd over.
Yeah, again, Cornet Dry, he's so exceptional, but this has just been an over to forget for Cornet. He's still got an opportunity to make up for it if he can deliver a wicket here, but good over for the Royals.
No one close in on the onside in front of square. It's in the gap. Mohsin says no.
Slipped, looking to take that second run.
Yep, over has come to a close. Expensive one from Cornet Dry. The chase is back on track for the Royals. 15 gone, 97 for 5.
Even the best in the business needs a strategic partner to help them win. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Ansh Patel, he's been given the ball here in the 16th over, and now a crucial over. It's 43 needed from the last 5. Slip still in place. And Faisal, this is the over where if you can build some pressure, it would just negate that Cornet Dry over we just saw.
Yeah, Atlanta Fire needs it. If at this stage 2 back-to-back good overs for the Royals will really put them back in charge. That required run rate of 8.9. With the partnership going, 2 batters have got their eye in.
Big shot offered, and this is an over for me of getting ones. Just pushed into gaps. We haven't seen, there's been one shot of Ansh Patel all day long. Other than that, it's been wickets, it's been dot balls. It's hard to come by runs against him. Don't force anything. You just had a great over. Losing a wicket here really puts the game back into balance.
Exactly. That's the game awareness that these two needs to show. Experienced cricketers, both of them.
Looking to cut and does it well enough straight down the ground. We'll get one. And again, you saw the turn and the bounce on that occasion. He got a lot higher than Sharma was expecting and really cut off that surface.
Yeah, Sharma is into his final over, so 4 overs to go. The options that Aponso has, that Kone Dry has got 1 over. Like I mentioned yesterday as well. He doesn't like to bowl in the death overs, or although he's added a couple of strings to his bow, but if it's less than 10 runs and over, I mean, it could put him under a lot of pressure. So this over has gone well for the Fire.
So speaking of that with Kone Dry, if you were, the captain of the Fire, would you just try to bowl Kone Dry up front, or before over number 15, get his 4 overs done and dusted?
Yeah, absolutely. I can bowl him for 2 over spell in the middle, and then bowl him before over number 15, and just tell him to just charge in and run in. Forget about variations, just hit your hard lengths. 100 has been brought up in the meantime, but an excellent over so far from Patel, really giving the equation back to Fire after that expensive over.
And if, I'm just thinking about bowling Kone before the 15th. I just don't know who's left to bowl those danger overs. Mohammad Mohsin misses that switch hit. Really great over. Just 3 runs come from it. 100 runs on the board. 40 from the final 4. 10 runs and over when we return. We spoke about options in the previous over. It'll be a Tinders Romanian who's been given the ball. He's the option Amil Aponso's look to use. It'll be his final over in the 17th, which means the final 3 will come off of one of Kone Dry, you'd have to imagine. And then where does the other 2 come from? Does he go back to Abdullah Quadri, who struggled with lengths? Does he try another spinner? I'm not sure where he goes.
Yeah, that's the decisions that Aponso needs to make.
Into the onside, calls for 1. We'll just take the 1. Could take 2 with the fumble. I don't know if Mohsin was alert to that one.
Yeah, that's sloppy. That's an opportunity missed for a run. We discussed at length yesterday that when that ball goes into the deep, any young boys and girls watching or listening, you've got to push as hard as you can for that first run. Touchdown, turn around, have a look. If there is any fumble, any opportunity, you're ready to capitalize.
Yes, those basics of cricket that end up making the biggest differences in games. It's the way you turn. Do you turn blind? Do you turn looking at the fielder? Are you ready for that second? Fielders creep in now inside the ring, especially set there at point, because we've seen Mohsin try to play those glances. This time it's power. It's in to out, and it's going to be 4. That's brilliant. That's the Mohammad Mohsin we've come to know and love, and the Baltimore Orioles will love that.
Definitely the boundary was required after the quiet over, and Mohsin once again just moving slightly away, clearing that front leg, opening that offside, and finding the middle of the bat and the gap as well. This is getting tight here.
You can just see everybody just tighten up a little bit. This game is well in the balance. Straight back, Mohammad Mohsin, welcome to the party. Picking up his second boundary of the over. This time it's bigger and better. It's 6.
Yeah, this time he set deep in the crease, was prepared to wait. Atindra doesn't offer much pace, And once Mohsin read this from the hand, he had all the time in the world just to pick his spot. And he went straight down the ground. This is an incredible hit, and the equation tilts once again in the favor of Royals.
And it's almost just too predictable from Athene. He got maybe touched too full on that previous delivery where he went for 4. So Mohsin sat in this crease expecting the cutter on a length and just sat up on the surface. Athene now put under pressure. He's played a lot of minor league cricket, but now some big questions and again a real pressure situation. It's 29 needed.
$11 of the over so far, 3 overs to go. That's the options that Aman was talking about earlier.
Well ball that from Athene, cramped him for room on a length, and again that's the area you want to be in.
That's his biggest strength. He can get hit for a couple of boundaries, but he doesn't get perturbed. And Aman, that's the options. Amila's got 1 over left. Athene is finishing off, and then it's between Qadri, Dave and Zia Shahzad to find another 2 overs.
It's an interesting call there. Aksh really was firing, getting quick, and you reckon maybe that's the way you want to go. But Zia, the more experienced campaigner in terms of minor league, down the ground, through the covers, could pick up a couple. No, they'll just settle for the 1. After those 2 boundaries, the damage is done for this over. This is all bonus runs now for the Baltimore Royals.
Yeah, that required run rate of 8.84 now of the final 3 overs. It wouldn't really phase any modern day batter these days. The required run rate of below 9 in the last 3 overs. 2 set batters in the middle. Atlanta Fire, I believe, has got it all to do from here. Couple of sloppy overs, first from Kone Dry, and this one from Athene. It's really put the equation back in favor of Royals.
Well bowled to close the over, but one that the Royals will love. 2 boundaries coming from it, 12 runs coming from it. It's 17 gone, 112 for 5.
It's an impossible shot.
Sometimes creativity and innovation are all it takes to achieve the impossible. Yash Technologies, more than what you think.
Well, speaking of options, we said who does Emil Alfonso throw the ball to? He's going to trust the experience of the new addition of Zia Shahzad. What do you make of that decision?
Yeah, I was going to say Emil Alfonso had to make the call, and he went the brave option, really giving his pro the confidence that I really believe in you. You went for 17. Different end now for Zia Shahzad, bowling from the com box end. Big test for him.
In the air, could it be taken? How has Mohammad Mohsin taken that for 6? That is sheer power, brute force, and he has taken this game over.
Incredible stroke. You could see he camped on that back foot and leant back. You feel that his weight was going back, and from that position to generate that amount of power to take it over the fence, that is Mohammad Mohsin at his very best.
Looking for that big slog again, but they'll get a single off of it. This is more the Zia Shahzad I was expecting to see early. He was looping that earlier in this game and got hit for 17 in the over. This is what he did all the time out west. He was quick through the air, flat, on the length, and I thought on this surface it would have been better off bowling that anyway, but Mohammed also made the first one pay.
Sometimes it happens when you make the grade, you work with different coaches and they give you something different to work on your game. That's the stage that those players would try to explore those options. And you're absolutely right, Zia Shehzad, when he's quicker through the air, flatter with his variations, because he's got a good googly and he doesn't give that much of time to the batters. But now trying to loop the ball, get it up and down, he's not been able to do that.
Straight to short cover. It was firmly struck, well timed, but right to the man. This is the Zia Shehzad that's so deadly because he just doesn't give you time to rock back and place the ball. You have to just connect it almost like you're playing a medium pacer.
Yeah, probably after that first over he got to think in the field and he said, I'm going to stay to my strength in this game.
Wants to single. Wow, just I think Hanchard Hamilton might have just went straight through him, waiting for the signal from the umpire. Hasn't awarded it buys, so maybe some bat involved, so maybe it was that a drop chance there from Hamilton.
Tough one though because of the bounce. But Zia could have done with that wicket, would have boosted his confidence. Really has made good comeback after that 6.
In the air, straight down the ground, no chance for that fielder stationed at long off, Mohammed Mohsin. He said, all right boys, get on my back and I'll take you to victory.
He was feeling hard done by when he was bowling with a couple of things that he didn't go his way. He's turning it on with the bat once again on that back foot, almost swung himself off his feet, but the connection was good. Mid-off is very, very wide, and another boundary for Shehzad. So Atlanta Fire are really feeling the heat here.
I just think that Zia Shehzad is bowling too wide. He's giving Mohsin too much room to free his arms. The one delivery that was on a length that Mohsin didn't hit for a boundary, what was it? It was close to his body, cramped him because he's so quick. He just don't have time to swivel. He's got to be straighter onto Mohammed Mohsin. If he gives him any room, it's going to find the rope. We already seen the power from him. Into the leg side, and doesn't matter where you bowl to him right now. Mohammed Mohsin is in a rhythm, and that's the 3rd boundary of the over.
A day to forget for Zia Shehzad. He's been taken for plenty. 17 of his first over and 17 of this over as well. Mohsin using the box very, very cleverly. He's a tall man but very quick on his feet. Picked up the length, went right back and smashed it over the mid-wicket fence. Huge over. Mohsin is playing a match-winning knock here for the Royals. 2 overs to go, 130 for 5.
Spin to continue. Cornet dries over. We'll get saved for later. It's a Milla. Oh, Ronak Sharma, have yourself a shot here. That'll be 6. We've seen Mohsin do it, and now it's his partner, Ronak Sharma, delivering the damage.
And a few blows, and the end has really come close. Just what 4 needed now. 11 deliveries to go. Mila Ponso has been trying to slow it up in the air. This one just sat up and was taken for 6. Ronak Sharma had seen Mohsin's belligerence.
He wants it again, and will get it again. This is the Baltimore Royals that we expected to see, and this is them winning the game because they finish it off in style. Just 4 runs to win, and he does it with the 6. How about that? The Baltimore Royals changed this game up with just a couple of lusty blows.
A sensational finish to the game. Just 10 minutes ago, Atlanta Fire were well and truly in the game, and within a blink of an eye, Mohsin and Sharma has taken Royals to the victory with 10 balls to spare. Terrific partnership between the two. Malik and Pinar got them off to a good start, but that little stump wickets fell in the middle, and then Mohsin and Ronak got together and they never looked back. They got the going tough to begin with, but when they got their eye in, they finished the job in a jiffy. Just the 6 extras and 10 balls to spare. Royals romped home.
Well, the Baltimore Royals have absolutely done what they needed to. They wanted to win. They started off with a loss, but this time they get it done. And look at that bowling card. Corne Dry in his 3 overs were all right, but that 3rd over just didn't give Emil Alfonso enough confidence to go back to him. Ansh Patel, he was phenomenal as always. 4 overs, 17 runs, and 2 wickets. The pick of the bowlers, really. Emil Alfonso was expensive, 23 for him. And Zia Shahzad, 34 runs in his 2 overs. Would never have expected that. But the Baltimore Royals, they get it done here on this Sunday of Labor Day weekend. And they still have a match to go tomorrow, so a chance for them to pile win on top of a win. What a day we've had today. We've had it all. We've got runs, we've got weather, we've got great wickets as well. For myself, for Faisal Shah, for our entire broadcast crew, head by Babar Beg. We thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow. Just keen to see the lengths in which Corne Dry likes to bowl. We saw him very much back of a length to start things off with the Marshall Raptors. I'm wanting to see how he starts things off to Obis Pinar. A new position for him, opening the batting here in minor league cricket. And starts off with a dot, does Corne Dry. Tickle down the leg side, it'll beat fine leg running towards the boundary. And they'll come back for 2 runs, so the first run's on the board for the Baltimore Royals. Use of the feet, and it'll beat 3rd man, and it'll end up being 4 runs. And into that region, a missed Yorker yet again, struggling with the lengths is Caldry, and Obis Pinar not gonna miss out.
In right areas.
Picked up beautifully by Obis Pinar. He just kind of waited for it, knew it was gonna be a cutter, sat deep in his crease, and got it really to his hip height. That's the long hop, it sliced straight up. How about this? Cricket is such a funny game. You get hit for 6 on maybe a better delivery for the very next one. Won't argue with that. Big sweep into the onside, and the first time we've seen Vansh Patel really get taken for runs, it's off the bat of Abdullah Malik, and it's going to be 6 of them.
After a lull strike.
This one straight up, and won't be taken. Put down at the very end. I think he had it. Starts with a full toss, Shahzad, and will be hit for a boundary. Malik was not going to miss out. Into. Straight down the ground, fielder in place, can only watch it sail over, and the fans are greeted with the boundary. Well taken, sir. This one, big shout. Hansard Hamilton's convinced, and finger goes up. Lumba's short stay at the crease comes to an end thanks to some brilliant glove work, and a much-deserved wicket for Ansh Patel comes to fruition. Big shout, big shout. Ansh Patel likes it, and given. Ravinder Singh Mehra, who scored 49 yesterday, has a first ball duck, and now it's Ansh Patel who's on a hat trick. Some pressure now mounting upon the Royals. In the air, cries of catch it, should be. Jagur Prana's there and takes it with such ease in the end. Emil Alfonso strikes, and that's the end of Abdullah Malik.
Get in. Talk about that. Emil Alfonso has gone through the gate. Quizzical look from Davis, but he can look all day long, and he can tell the story walking, because Emil Alfonso has cleaned him up. Kept in the options to mix around the bowling combos. This one is fine. It will run away from the fielder. Rishi is quick, but not quick enough. And a much-needed boundary has broken that sequence of singles here for the Royals.
This happened. We'll talk about it after the ball.
Has been helped along, just timed away, but the placement was superb. Split the field beautifully.
Mohsin try to play those glances. This time it's power. It's in to out, and it's going to be 4. That's brilliant. That's the Mohammad Mohsin we've come to know and love, and the Baltimore Royals will love that. Straight back, Mohammad Mohsin, welcome to the party. Picking up his second boundary of the over. This time it's bigger and better. It's 6.
Yeah, big test for him.
In the air, could be taken. How has Mohammad Mohsin taken that for 6? That is sheer power, brute force.
Really has made good comeback after that 6.
In the air, straight down the ground, no chance for that fielder stationed at long off, Mohammad Mohsin. He's into the leg side, and doesn't matter where you bowl to him right now. Mohammad Mohsin is in a rhythm, and that's the save for later. It's Milla. Oh, Ronak Sharma, have yourself a shot here. That'll be 6. We've seen Mohsin do it, and now it's his partner, Ronak Sharma.
Belligerence.
He wants it again, and will get it again. This is the Baltimore Royals that we expected to see, and this is them winning the game because they finished it off in style, just 4 runs to win, and he does it with the 6. How about that? The Baltimore Royals changed this game up with just a couple of lusty blows.
A sensational finish to the game. Just 10 minutes ago, Atlanta Fire were well and truly in the game, and within a blink of an eye, Mohsin and Sharma has taken Royals to the victory with 10 balls to spare. Terrific partnership between the two. Malik and Pinar got them off to a good start, but that little stump wickets fell in the middle.
You're watching the 2024 Minor League Cricket Championship presented by Yash Technologies.